fucking dumb.
That's stupid, but it could be accurate.
Yeah, I mean, anything could be accurate.
Yeah, sometimes
no
I
matter
feel
what.
like just speak that back when we enter back with it.
That could be accurate, Mark. I agree.
That's how my Sims always
Wab
talk.
zoobadai.
They always talk backwards. It's crazy.
They have a language. It's
I love it when
It's an
you-
actual language that you can speak.
It's language of shittiness.
I
It
love
is,
it when your voice
but-
changer gets broken on Demon Speak. And,
Oh,
you're
and
like,
I talk back.
drop
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I like when it does like 18 different things at once, and you're like, I have no idea what you're saying.
I just love hearing the panic through the voice changes. Be like, I don't know how to
Yeah.
fix
I
your.
don't know how to fix it. And it's like, better do how to do it. And it's like,
Well, that wasn't the button.
yeah, like that's not how you do it if you're trying.
Well, because like when I go through the settings, like sometimes it'll work perfectly fine, and then sometimes it breaks.
The best part is every time you've ever been like, all right, I'm done using it, I'm turning it off, and then it just doesn't.
It's
It's like, I definitely turned it off.
it's
It's not in my task manager, but it's on.
When it's like, I definitely
Well,
turned
because
it
it
off.
doesn't pop up in Task Manager when I do it. It does not. Unless it's popping up in like a specific hidden spot, but it does not normally
It's probably
pop up.
popping up like background processes or some shit.
That's just a theory.
The game theory. And on that note, welcome to Time's Up. I'm Wayne.
I'm Mikey.
I'm Mark.
Of course, you're Mark.
Jesus, Mark.
How was your day, Mark?
Fuck, I'm Mark all day.
Wow. When do you stop being Mark?
Dang, that's
Only when I die.
explicit.
Not that Devin would ever notice.
That's not that long.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he keeps
Tarkov.
calling me Mikey.
Tarkov.
No, it's fine.
Because you wish to be me.
Woke up at 8, didn't want to because I didn't go to bed till like 3. But I'm that early morning guy.
It's crazy because when I sent you that message earlier, the video of Mikey, he asked me, he's like, "Mark reply?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Oh, he's probably still sleeping." I'm like, "He probably is." It was like it was like 11 something when I sent it to you.
8:30, wide awake.
Wow.
We just assumed you were sleeping because we didn't know how late you stayed up.
Nah, I was in a raid and then I went down and ate lunch. So
I kept asking.
I heard the phone go off and all it said was video, and I was like, I don't have time for that.
I don't have time for that.
Food more important.
So I was like, I'll come back to
I
that.
was asking Wayne, I was like, did Mark respond yet? He's like, no. He's probably sleeping.
But I just played Tarkov for a little while. Scav runs. They were going fine until the last 3. I don't want to talk about it.
Really bad for you.
Well, the last one was awful.
I mean,
Just
last
garbage.
like week for raids has been very wishy washy.
Last night
That's what
was
I'm saying.
garbage.
That's what I said. This game is
Some of them are
fucking
garbage
me.
for
more
you
and
guys.
more.
Some of them were fine for me.
I did alright for a couple. Here's the thing, like, the raids I didn't take anything into. I was just like, screw it, this is fine. We did great. And the raids I was like, alright, I'm taking my gear in. We did awful.
That's how it was.
Like,
Yeah, whenever I
when did that
try, when I have like a nice set, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna fuck people up because I got good stuff on. And they're like, nah, no, you're not.
You know
Like
what the
that
problem is?
second to last raid.
It's because you're scared of losing your stuff.
Probably.
Well, that second to last raid, I was
Deep
like,
down.
So you play differently.
I was like, Sega, I'm just gonna take in a shotgun, whatever. I killed the guy, managed to hide all your stuff. You're gonna get it back tonight when you get on. It was fine.
No, I expected to die every raid.
Immediately after that, I was like, nah, I'll take an AK so that way I'm not useless when I have a shotgun. And we just got ruined.
There was that one scav raid that me and Wayne went on. I immediately killed a scav, first thing I seen. And I was just running at all the scavs, killing scavs. And I did perfectly fine, got a ton of loot. But this, when I play cautiously, I'm just like lurking around, waiting for someone, I just get destroyed by someone.
Yeah, it seems almost like every time when I just like try to chill out, that's when the problems happen. Like I just need to keep running apparently.
Yeah.
I can vary up my pace very easily. I don't know. I find that my varied pace is actually like super good for me to work with. Granted, I'm used to playing alone most of the time because normally you guys aren't always on. It's when I'm on. So normally I'm running alone, so I play at my own pace at all times. Maybe that's what it is. You guys.
I
just
don't
can't
mind playing
match
alone,
my pace.
but
It doesn't bother me. That's what I did all day today. I just played scav runs.
But like when I play alone, I make it out of like 90% of my raids.
My survival rate's not awful. It's like 40 something.
I don't check my rate.
My
My
KD's surprisingly high.
my survival rate when I play with Mikey is about like probably like 85. Until yesterday, it's probably like 75 now.
It's just normally when me and you play together, it's not bad.
No, my survival rate with Mark, when I just play with Mark, is probably about 80. My survival rate with Devin is 50.
I believe that
Guaranteed.
two people playing together is like the perfect like.
I just think it's.
I think over 2 it starts getting harder.
I think
Just harder because I second think all of my shots
yeah.
because I'm not 100% sure where you guys are, and I'm like,
I
this
think
you?
the
I have to
more
ask.
the more people you have, the closer you have to be as a group.
Yeah,
Like
you have
as
to
friends,
stick
not
together.
physically
Yeah.
next to each other, but like you have to be on a certain wavelength. The more people you have, because like if 5 of us went in and it was me and Wayne, all right, that's fine. We know that works. And then Mason, he's never ever played the game, and we've played other games with him, so we know we don't synergize super well in tactically sound situations where we need to be. And then like
I don't know if I could rely on Mason to play a shooter game.
Sam, who just never listens and does whatever he wants. That the more people we add, the faster it just falls apart. It just falls to utter pieces.
I
Like
mean,
the
It
three of
depends on
us-
who you add.
Like the three of us, we're usually okay.
Like,
Three of
if
us
we
isn't
were to
bad. When we throw
add
Devin
David-
in there, it's not that great.
It's just we don't match with Devin super easy.
I've
He
noticed,
plays different. Like I said, like that one time when I was like, I think we should back out of this. He
Devin's
was like,
got a-
I want to fight. And I was
Devin-
like, we're
Devin
not going to
plays
win this.
real Chad-like.
I've noticed that if
You have to
all
have a good
four of
mix.
us,
Mhm.
if all four of us go in, if we split into two groups, we usually do better than if all 4 of us stay together. If all four of us stay together, at least half of us die.
Yeah. There's just too many people.
When we take like David and stuff in, it's not too bad because David's usually attached to your hip.
I don't think I've gotten to play with David yet.
I don't think I have either.
Probably not this wipe.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm the only person that David's played with this wipe.
Yeah.
I don't think I played with
'Cause I
last
played
week
with-
either.
I played a few raids with Nick the other day. He died every raid. It was just gonna happen. The first couple ones we did, I took him to woods, so I was trying to get a challenge done.
I mean, he's
just,
still new to keyboard and mouse, ain't he?
yeah, and he was over searching a thing, like, over by the extract where the cars are and that green smoke is, and there's
Yep.
those 2 weapons crates. Nick's like, "Can I check these weapons crates and see if there's anything in them?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." Nick was over there searching, and I got shot in the head, and I was like, "I'm dead." Nick's like, "What?"
He's so scared.
And
He's
then
like,
Nick
I don't
got
know what
shot
I'm
like
doing.
immediately after that because he thought I shot somebody, but the guy I shot, my bullet ricocheted off his helmet because I wasn't using the best ammo to penetrate a helmet.
Ah.
So I could just tell as soon as I hit him because he's like freaking out. He hid, and I'm like, I just ricocheted that bullet, and he's gonna find me.
He's like, you're like, I know where he's at. He knows
Speaking
where
of
I'm at.
ammo, I don't know where it came from, but I organized my stash today because I just had tons of time in between raids. I have like 460 BP rounds, and I have no
For what?
fucking idea for 545.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that came
Pretty
from.
common round.
I have no idea
It
where I
is,
got them.
but 400 is a lot.
It's a lot. I have
That's a lot of
BP.
bullets to have.
Well, I also have like about 320 BP for 7.6239. I'm like, where the fuck did I get all this good ammo?
That's also quite a bit because that normally
one's
normally
harder
find
to find.
PS
Yeah,
on that.
I was like, where did I get all this ammo? I am loaded on ammo.
I don't normally find the 7.62 by.
No, not PP. It's
I've
always
got a
everything has
ton of
PS on it. Like scavs always have it if they have an SKS
Yeah.
or something. They'll have PS.
Now, I
on
do
it.
know I bought 120 of it. But then when I looked at my stash, I was like, Jesus Christ. I already
Had
had
way too
like,
many.
yeah, I already had a fucking like 220 in here.
I'm gonna start
sounds like
moving.
you're gonna start using it.
I think
I
I'm
do.
gonna
I
start
put it in
using
every
AKs
gun.
more than ADARs. I don't know why, but I think I'm just gonna make a switch.
The reason I'm moving
To
to
use
AKs,
7.62 AKs, not AK variants and 5.45.
the reason I'm moving over to AKs is because I looked at my stash and I have 8 of them. I was like, I should probably use these.
I like AKs. I really
Right
do.
now, I'm just using whatever my challenge calls me to use.
Yeah.
I have some sweet M4s that I've been waiting to use.
I have 2 really good M4. I have an actual
I keep
M4 than an
stacking them
ADAR.
up. Like, 'cause I have some M4s that have just been taken off of people I killed.
I have an ADAR that looks pretty, but my entire goal was to build it out of the cheapest parts I possibly could.
I also have my own gun.
That's what I do. Yeah, you do
I have my
your
own gun in Tarkov.
He built his gun.
Nice.
Literally almost an exact replica of my gun.
I think I've seen it.
It's about as close as it can get to.
The real only alteration is the
There's no
Stock.
SBA3 butt stock
because
in
it's
there.
an actual stock and it's not like a brace.
Mikey, on the other hand, will never get to do his double stack mags.
Or a
You never know.
AKR, or
They may
KSAR.
do it.
Mike,
It would be sweet though.
I could do my M4.
You could do your
I could actually do my AR like
100%.
I could actually do all of my AR.
Mine, I can't do 100% because of the brace really.
Can't do my pistol.
But once I start adding some new parts to it, because I plan on doing that soon.
Can't even do Lockwood's pistol.
I got that drum
I
mag.
have Glock 18s and Glock 17s in there.
I got that drum mag
19s.
Glock. I had 3 hats, and I was like, screw it.
You traded hats for a drum mag?
For the Glock. And then I had the physical Bitcoin, and I realized that I must have accidentally taken it into a raid because it was no longer found in raids. I'm like, well, I can't sell this anymore. So I traded it for the MP7.
I'm saving my Bitcoin
I like
right
the
now.
MP7. That was my favorite
I
gun.
would,
but
but it lost its found in raids. I was like, well, I can't sell it. Might as well use it.
I have 1 Bitcoin. I'm just saving them up so I can get a weapons case.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use mine to buy weapons cases for a little while.
I just have tons of guns. I have guns for days. and lots of mags and ammo.
So I've been fucking low on his guns. I start running out of weapons.
Well, if you want one, I can bring you one. I got a shitload.
I have more now since I did that really good scav
You
raid.
guys want to go fishing early in the morning?
I got 3 and
Huh?
5s.
Nick just texted me and let me know that they want to go fishing around 7:30.
I gotta go to work at 4:30.
When I used to go fishing as a kid,
They're real early to lose.
I'd wake up at
this.
4 a.m. as a kid
There's not much of a difference.
and go. No, it's just like we'd go fishing all day. We'd want to be up as early
we're
as we
gonna
can.
we're gonna be out there all day.
Yeah, that's what we'd want to do. We want to be up there early as we can and stay out as late as we could. So we'd go into the creek for
Yeah.
stupid amount.
Yeah, we'll be out there. Well, they say leave about 7, but we'll leave about 7:30. Then we'll get there and we'll fish literally all day. Come back, find out I'm still the champion.
That's what he says.
Yeah, we'll see.
You'll be surprised when this thing's still sitting here next week.
We'll see, those are big
surprised.
words.
Be here for another year. I already know who's gonna win.
Nick.
Who won
Yeah,
last
me.
year?
Me,
Who won the year before?
Nick,
I don't know. Yeah, but who won the year before Nick did?
Nick.
Oh, the 2-time.
The two-time.
That is never on time.
The 2-time.
He's coming back.
My dad won 1 year, and that's.
So did you.
But now
Shut
there's a prize on the line.
I've got a reason to not just fish for bluegill.
I'm just saying your dad's gonna win 'cause there's a prize on the line. Now he has to
Hey,
shut
shut
it
up! Don't be on his side.
My money's on Nick. Just because Mark took Wayne.
My
Big
money
win.
is on anybody that isn't Little Wayne.
It's ridiculous. It's not even
It's
happening.
ridiculous.
You're gonna come home and your mom's gonna have a bigger fish out of the pond.
She keeps saying
Oh,
that.
that's a big insult.
There's only one fish left in the pond.
She's gonna get it.
My dad killed him all the other day. He goofed. He accidentally shut the pump off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was cleaning it out. Forgot to turn the pump back on.
They all
What fish survived?
suffocated.
Oh, just one goldfish.
Huh. He's like, my brother's dead.
Dead. 100% dead.
That
Well,
was-
'cause I looked in the freezer. So I was going in there. I was looking for some hot dogs because I was going to make some hot dogs. So I opened his freezer. And I was like, what the fuck happened to all your goldfish?
They're all in there?
Because they were all in there stacked in a fucking tote.
He's
I'm
like, was he going to use him to feed bitch?
yeah. Yeah, he already threw one into her today. And she did like, she's not used to thicker fish, and the goldfish are pretty thick.
She was like,
She
the
bit at it
fuck
like
is
4
this?
times. Like, she hit it like 4 times before she actually got a grip on it.
Wow.
Like the first time she hit it and it like floated away, and then you see her like stick her head up, like where'd it go?
She's like, "The fuck?"
She like had her face out of the water, she's like looking around for it, and I'm like, it's over there.
It's like, all right, who's trying to pull a fast one on me?
Who the
right now?
fuck?
Which one of you wise guys stuck his hand in this tank? I'll take it.
It's real funny watching her do that because she doesn't normally stick her head out of the water when people are around. She's like, yeah, no, I'd rather not.
I'll stay in.
She's a big shy girl. She's when she's out wandering around, it's kind of hard.
Big mean clamper.
I used to love being outside as a kid. When she was outside walking around when my dad was cleaning her tank, she would just walk around the yard.
real slow.
Real slow. Turtles aren't really actually that slow.
Not if you scare them.
A tortoise is slow.
If you walk up to, I've seen how fast those painters move. When they're moving across the road, they're just sitting there. You walk up to them, they're like, "Fuck!"
Whoa,
Go.
whoa, hey.
Oh, this big dude's coming at me.
They do go pretty quick. It's kind of insane how fast they go.
They get that little flick of the wrist.
And they get. When we went shooting,
They
me and
move.
Johnny once, we found a baby snapper. Yeah,
I remember because
gun range.
it's the one time I couldn't go, and I was like, well, I wish you guys would have kept a turtle.
Yeah, this little baby. He was like that big,
Mm-hmm.
tiny little guy. We put him in the
Gimli
water.
would have had a brother.
Gimli would have had a snack.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't be in the same tank ever.
Crunch.
Nope. The only time I would try
Like,
is if I knew it was around the
Whoa.
same time for them to like breed. It's the only time I would try.
Need to have baby turtles.
But I watched my dad try that with Bitch once.
Did she eat him?
She tried.
She was like, "Fuck you,
She
dude."
was on top, like trying to fucking bite into his shell. Like she was like clamped on, like going like snap.
What a lady.
I was like, holy shit. Because my dad had the male one in a water trash can because he just found it.
Nice.
So like he used to collect rainwater before it was illegal.
It's illegal.
The government owns that.
Why is it
fell in
illegal?
our- Because the rain fell in American airspace, and so it is owned by the government.
Collecting rainwater is legal.
Suck
In
me
almost
off.
every state, collecting rainwater is a federal
Suck me
offense.
off.
That's bull. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's true shit though. But like he used when they were doing that, 'cause that's how my mom would water her plants. Illegally water her plants. So he stuck him in the bottom of it. And he was just hanging out there for a couple days. Then he noticed that like it was around times like snappers and stuff were breeding, so he's like, I'll give it a try.
And bitch is like, the fuck you will.
He plopped him in her tank, and then he checked on him like a minute later. Saw that she was like on top of him trying to like bite his fucking head off. I was like, what?
Like, what's happening?
Tell you what, dude, splitting snappers apart is not fucking easy.
Little Wayne runs in there. Dad, we got praying mantis.
It's like when he used to have her in another tank and it was separated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not my recollection because I was a child. I do not remember. But he used to keep like other little painted turtles on the other side, and she was on this side. They would poke their head through the little grate, and she'd just pop their heads off. My dad just kept finding turtles that were headless.
Oof.
He's like, what the fuck is happening to all these? And then he realized that they were just poking their head through, and she's like...
They're like, hey, what's going on over here, Dad?
Just popping it off. She's vicious, man.
Mean.
Very mean.
We've talked about bitch almost every podcast.
Oh, yeah. And Gimli.
I mean, she's...
A lot of people think
Gimli,
turtles are like,
turtle.
Turtles, the only nice reptile. Try again.
Did you like that little touch on the end of that?
Yeah.
On
Gimli.
the end of the last episode,
The
put
turtle.
in the credits.
Guest starring Gimli.
Gimli.
One day we'll put it.
It was Wayne as himself. Mark as himself. Mikey as himself. The viewer as yourself. Gimli, the turtle.
Gimli.
I don't know. I've been having fun editing them. It's been super smooth.
It's good then.
Hasn't been taking me super long either.
With the video, it's way easier.
Yeah.
Just cutting some stuff out.
Yeah, just pop in some ads.
A little bit of effect.
Yep.
Call it
It's been pretty
business.
smooth. I haven't
Nice.
had much trouble. The first one was kind of annoying. Like the first few, because I was just putting it to where it would like jump cut between the pictures.
Yeah.
But now there's an actual like video camera and stuff. Jesus.
We might upgrade the
Go
video.
ahead and just break everything while we're in.
Yeah, might as
Thinking
well.
about it.
And
Thinking
you
about
haven't
it.
even worn that bell yet, and you're about to just be like, no, nobody gets to have it. I lost.
Just fucking break it.
I'm just imagining
Well, that's
standing on
why,
the
like-
shore watching Wayne lose the competition, just throw it into the lake.
Fuck the
Well,
bell.
like,
This is a waste of money.
well, no, because we're leaving it at my mom and dad's house.
Oh, so
so
you're,
when
you're
we
giving it
go-
to the champ to be already.
No.
You're conceding before you
Oh,
get
no.
started.
So Nick's gonna have to go there and get it himself.
Shut up.
Whoa, listen, guy.
We'll come home
That young
and I'll be grabbing my belt to bring back over here after I show it to them and go, ooh, who's still the champ? You ain't had nothing on me, brother.
Jeez.
I also have a trophy in the next room because they finally made the trophy for it.
Wayne's gonna be walking backwards to his gate and been like, I was out there catching fish. You guys were catching guppies.
Catching guppies.
Well, it's just like how
Catching bait.
I was talking about it earlier. My mom was saying she's like, you might not get so lucky this year because last year I won with a bluegill.
It was a big bluegill.
It was a pretty good size one. My bad that I caught like 13. My dad caught 2 and Nick caught 1. Sorry, your
Mark,
game
write down the-
sucked.
Write down the who we think's gonna win.
We're gonna write it down.
Yeah. Say Mark, Papa Wayne, Mikey, Nick, Wayne.
That lets
Himself.
himself. Break as soon as you write it down.
Just gonna write down fact.
It's not gonna happen.
Mark's right.
I don't believe that.
You ain't gonna be right, Mark.
Yeah, you ain't.
You gonna be real upset when I come home with that title, brother.
Brother man.
You just write it all down.
I bet
This man.
it's gonna be Nick.
It's not. I've already perfected my riding reel.
I don't even believe myself, but I have to go against you.
I've been watching too many YouTube videos, brother.
You've been watching what's his name?
Lojo
You've
fishing.
been watching Lojo fishing on a stupid $2,000 boat.
The only
Does he have
fishing
one of
channel.
those boats?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the
dude, his
guy.
boat's actually super cool though.
I don't remember the name of the guy. But the only fishing channel I watch is the guy who makes his lures. He just
Oh.
makes shitloads
I don't
of
even know
lures.
who that is.
He just makes awesome lures. He just makes them because he can. It's his business. It's what he does. But also, he just makes realistic ones just for fun. Just to
I've
see if he
noticed
can.
that since that tackle shop closed downtown,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of random people popping up in my Facebook and stuff that have been starting to make their own lures.
Really? They're like, well,
And they're
fuck.
trying to like sell them.
Only
Yeah, the
person I watch that does fishing is a guy that does camping, primarily.
The guy
He
I
just
know
goes
who
fishing.
does, who does lures and bait around here. The guy I work with, he doesn't make his own stuff. He he'll buy
He
all
orders
like
it.
if Dick's Sporting Goods is like, oh man, we're getting rid of this lure, so we'll sell it to you for half cost, he'll be like, sure, and he'll buy their entire stock,
And then he'll double charge it.
and then he'll just sell it all for normal price.
Yeah, what
because
it
he got
normally
it for
would be.
half.
Fair.
He sells
That's
a
how-
lot of stuff.
That's how
for
business
Russia.
works.
I know a lot of the stuff Lojo does on his channel is like a lot of.
So we got the corn, wasn't it? Is that where you got the corn thing
No,
from?
the corn I got from like a lot of different other things. I was just
Random
watching
shit.
other like statistical videos
I
because
thought
I
you got
wanted
the
to.
corn from like Kroger or something.
Shut the fuck
You son of a bitch! At it again with your wisecracks and your smart remarks.
You son of a bitch, I mean.
You
Anyway.
son of a bitch, I mean.
I'm gonna win tomorrow.
Nope.
Just how it is.
Ain't gonna happen.
You
But-
guys won't know until next week.
I don't think we'll ever know because you'll just lie to us.
If this is gone, if they win, they ain't letting this stay here. I
Yeah, they'll
guarantee
definitely
you
take that belt. Your dad will put it in the garage.
Even though I bought it and they both said I wouldn't have done that. It's fucking stupid.
What Wayne isn't telling us is that he has 2 belts, and this is the decoy.
Dun, dun, dun. No, they're fairly expensive. I don't want to buy another one. I might buy another one for something else.
How much was this?
This was $150. This is like as
$150.
base as it can get.
Still a lot of money for a belt.
But I'm gonna get like a more customized one because I want to start doing like a Magic game night.
Oh, that means Mikey has to play.
Yeah,
I'll play.
and then
I was gonna play that one
we'll
time.
all play. He did mention about going with us when we went to Dan's.
When you said that, because Wayne said that you guys were gonna go there and play Dan's after it's closed, and I thought to myself that'd be a perfect time to learn. So I was like, I'd go, but I had stuff to do. I was like, I really would go with you,
It's a perfect time to get him to go.
We gotta get you.
because I definitely don't want to be there with a lot of people. Because one, I do not like people in
Well,
general,
now's the time with the amount of people being limited.
and the way you've described the majority of the people that go there.
It's
A lot
just
of them
it's just
haven't been
mostly
there.
during the time that most of the people that have been jerks have not been there. But we might as well send it to an ad for Dan's shop.
What a bunch of guys. Well, instead of whatever it is we were talking about, let's talk about Cabbages and Kings. Previously known as Titan Games, Cabbages and Kings is a tabletop game store in Peoria Heights. Whatever you're interested in, whether it's figures, board games, or trading card games, Cabbages and Kings has you covered. Not sure what you like? Then give them a call or message them on Facebook and ask for a suggestion. Dan will always be able to help you out. And let's not forget about their new Rent a Game program they have. For $5, you can rent a game for up to 3 days. So make sure to ask for more details about that the next time you're in there. Last but not least, if you have a busy schedule and you can't always get there, you can always order online and pick it up at your earliest convenience at cabbagesandkings.games. Remember guys, that's cabbagesandkings.games. Cabbages and Kings, the best source of board games around.
Something else.
And we're back. See,
Round 2.
it's the easiest way to do it. But Dan's shop, Magic. Let's talk more about
I'm confused.
We're talking about magic, Mikey. It's okay.
Yeah, I know we are now.
it. Essentially, I made a cut. And I'm going to cut, so you're going to hear
No,
it.
I know that part. I'm
so-
just-
Mikey's lost.
I'm not lost. I know where we're at. I'm just like, what?
Essentially.
Well, now that we know where we're at, Wayne, where are we going?
We're going to Cabbage Kings.
Okay.
We're going to play some Magic sometime.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sounds fun. Get you hooked.
I got that one stupid deck that I have.
Probes
Probably
in.
not too long. But the
Starter
though,
deck. It's a
is it
starter
like,
deck.
it's just a starter deck.
It was like in the card, like the cards are all already there.
It was one of those.
So it's just like a 40.
I got it
Yeah,
for- I got it for
it's
free.
got Domri Raid stuff in it. Sure.
All right.
The boy gave it to me.
We'll have to make you a commander deck.
The boy.
Yeah, that's what they call him. They called him the boy. He always stands like this.
He's gonna be a game warden cop.
Yeah, he likes to be one of those
One of
police
the
officers that like always stand here and hold their best.
Darla, I just need to let you know.
Darla's a lot of places.
You're my sweetie pie, and I'm moving up in the world.
Through McDonald's.
I'm about to
Through
be
it down.
McDonald's.
I'm about to be in a shish-stitch store, man.
I make $8.50.
The last time I saw the boy was at Bass Pro when me and Nick went to get my mom her pole. Saw him walking out and I looked at him. I'm like, all right, cool. He doesn't recognize me. I can walk in.
He only worked with you a handful of times, right?
Yeah, but he knew exactly who I was when he saw
He
me.
knows
That's
Wayne.
the spooky part.
Yeah, well, Mikey talks about me. Mikey's got a big mouth.
Like he's a big fat talker.
Well, he got into Magic, so I obviously my only friend that plays Magic
Yeah.
that I talk to consistently because I don't talk to Mark every day.
It's like
Obviously.
I don't know whose fault that is.
I was talking to Mikey one day. And he was like, yeah, the boy wants to know if you have any Aether vials. I'm like, no.
Because Austin would know I never said Wayne. I just said my friend plays Magic a lot and goes to Titan Games when it was Titan Games,
Yeah.
and he would be like, "I've been to Titan Games," so I talk to him. And
Never once saw him there.
I was like, "Yeah, Wayne, my friend's really in. He's really got a lot of knowledge in that
You
stuff."
just slipped your name out when he wasn't supposed to say your name.
And I
Are
said
you lying
Wayne.
to us?
I said
My name is
Wayne Andrew. Is that your middle name?
How'd you know? It's almost like you filled out my gun membership paperwork with me.
I'm not gonna lie. You've only told me your middle name like 30 times before that, and I forgot it every
You know how
time.
many times he says, "What's your middle name?" And I'm like, "What is it?" And then he's like, Austin.
Yeah, I guess. I always know it's an A. I'm like, I know it's an A, and then he's like Andrew, and I'm like, I fucking knew it was Andrew.
He
I'm
almost
pretty
always
sure.
No, don't tell me, don't tell me.
It's basically me.
Alphonse.
He literally almost always defaults to Austin. I'm like,
Because I know it's an A
No.
name. I know it's just a normal. It's an A name that should be a first name.
the only downside,
Alfredo.
like when we played with Magic with Dan the other night, I was hoping we would stay a little later because I wanted to play with Austin.
Kind of glad we didn't. I had to go to work the next day. I was fucking tired.
I was off. I was wanting to play, but Dan had to go
I'll
back
learn.
home.
Next time,
Next time we get a chance,
I would
to take
like
out
it when
there.
if it was small amount of people,
Less people, yeah.
less people, just like
'Cause-
so I
Well,
can
right
get
now
taught
it's
the
limited
rules.
to a certain amount of people.
Yeah. There were only like 8 of us there, but the biggest pod we typically play is 4. So even if there's like 8 people there, or
Yeah.
12
You'll be
people
in
there,
a little
you'll be
4-man.
on a table with 4, and then they'll be somewhere else.
It's very rare that we bump it up to like 5 or 6. Very rare.
The only times we
Happens
do that,
every once in a while, and that's when we usually do like somebody
goofy
else is
stuff.
ready to play, but they're like, no one else is really wanting to play. Is it cool if I play with you guys? And we're like, yeah, we just haven't started a game yet, so yeah, feel free to sit down.
Most of the times that we've had 5 or 6, they've been really bad casual decks because that's too many people to play a deck that's complicated. You gotta go fast.
So you just get things you can just be like, bah,
Yeah, here's
do
the
this,
dude.
do that,
next,
do this.
Next turn.
Yeah,
Here's the dude,
usually
next
the
turn.
bigger the pot you play and the simpler the deck you play.
Gotcha.
Just because it takes. a
Unless
long
like
time.
there's some people that only have like one deck and it does one thing, and it's sometimes if it's like a hyper competitive deck, it's like, why'd you come play a big pot?
That's the main reason I have 6 decks. Because if there's somebody who's like, man, I only have this one thing, it's like, and you want to play 6-man? Yep. No, here, use goblins.
Use goblins.
We always have extra decks to like spread it out.
Like, what do I do with this? It's like, you play a goblin and you pass your turn.
There's that one time I had a deck and I linked it up to a murderer.
That
I didn't know he was a murderer.
was a story.
That was a crazy time.
I remember this story.
It was insane. Like I didn't realize I was playing Magic with serial killers.
I don't think they were. We'll
They
talk
were
about that
six-
some
Yeah,
other
it
time.
doesn't count.
serial
That doesn't
killers.
count as serial killer.
No.
Murderers nonetheless.
No,
There you
that's true. That's very true.
Fucking one-armed bat wielder.
You're only leading into more things that we're not going to talk about today.
We'll talk about it next
I know,
time.
but still.
It'll be an extra episode. It'll be the murder story.
The murder stories.
That most
It'll be like
people-
Goblin Kid that no one's heard about yet.
Most people are not going to know Goblin Kid. Man, that lady, though. Cranwell's.
Oh, Goblin Lady. Close second as
She was
scary.
something.
Say it, Mark.
She was
Say it. She was a freak.
She was a human being who had facial features that I was not prepared to see all at the same time.
Hear that, ladies? Mark doesn't think any of you are beautiful.
No.
No, I
He just followed into it. No.
Double down.
Go ahead.
I feel so bad for that
Since
lady.
you're talking about the Cranwell thing, what'd you say to the waitress?
I
that
feel
brought
so
herself?
bad.
Talk about the story.
She came over and dropped off our food, and
It's a drive-in.
it's a
Cranwell's
drive-in.
is
Cranwell's is a drive-in, so they just hanging on.
They
your
bring it out
window.
your window like Sonic.
Yep.
Not on
And,
roller skates.
but not shitty food.
And
Fact.
so when I went to pay, I handed her my card, and because I handed her a card, she couldn't break me change, obviously, so she had to go back inside, run the card, and come back out. So she went in, ran the card, came back out, handed it to me, and said, I just need you to sign on the top one right there, the top receipt. And I said, no.
It wasn't Mark's card, but obviously he was gonna do it anyways.
It was my card.
Oh, it was?
I paid.
Ah, it was.
She immediately ignored me saying no, just blazed right past it like it never happened. I'm like, okay, whatever. And she handed me a pen, and as she handed me the pen, she goes, oh, wait, maybe not this one. And I looked over at it. She says, I think it exploded. And she looks down, pulls out the rest of her pens. They're all covered in pink ink. She goes, it definitely exploded, and handed me a different pen. She goes, sorry about that if it gets on your hand. I was like, it's no big deal.
Normal.
And then
Mark.
she started going into small talk, while I was signing the receipt. She's like, man, it's crazy. I just blew up like that. Stuff like this has been happening all day, little things. I wonder what's going on. And I didn't even think about it. I just, without hesitation, and sometimes God hates us all.
Didn't Miss B still signing his little?
While I'm signing,
signature
didn't even
on.
make eye contact. Mikey is in the front seat, just goes, "Whoa!"
I have a half-eaten hot dog on my face. Say, "Whoa!" And I look down to look at her, and
suddenly-
she's just like nervous, laughing,
Yeah,
looking
suddenly This girl
around.
has a very nervous laugh, and I just hand her the card. And I'm like, "Thank you," and she walks away.
And I'm just like, Jesus.
I just want you to know, she didn't come out and grab our tray when I flipped the
Nope,
switch.
that dude did.
The other two did.
Yeah, somebody else had to come grab her.
She was like, please go out there and grab that dude.
and she's like,
Right?
"One
That
of
or
those
she
guys
was-
is a religious zealot, and I don't like it."
I don't like it.
He's really
Somebody,
The thing, the weird
somebody go
thing-
get the tray from Westboro over there.
Do you often say zealot or do you say zealot?
Zealot.
I think I usually say zealot.
I say zealot.
Here's the
usually
thing:
go with
I
zealot.
read it as zealot, but I probably say zealot more when
It's
I
like
say it out
Creek
loud.
trick
Yeah,
deal.
I definitely read it as zealot.
I know I say it right, zealot.
I say zealot.
Look at this guy, fucking cocky over here.
This
I know
guy
I say
says-
it right.
Do
It's
you
the
want
only
me to
thing you said right tonight, Mister Jerks be Jerks.
Stanima?
They won't know that.
Mr. Stanima.
Hey,
Stanima.
hey. I've tried to correct that.
Yeah.
I've been saying stamina.
You said it for far too long for me to forget that you can't say it right.
Man, my stamina.
We played enough D&D, enough games that you need stamina.
Hey, what level's your stamina?
It's like the one time I
Stamina.
said it wrong and then I said it again and like a couple sentences later and I slowed it down to say it properly.
Yeah.
Mikey's like, I heard you slow that down.
I heard you slow. Yeah, you're like, I'm trying to get better, right? No.
What's the planima? Stanima.
Stanima?
I get so much crap for my words.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not over here busting anybody else's balls about words.
Also, you say comedical a lot.
Shut up.
How comedical.
That's exactly how Wayne says it.
I got
That's a
great,
less important one, though. Like, you know what the fuck
I say words funny anyway.
I got a great sense of humor.
Do
You're
not
very
say that.
It's humorous.
Do not say
It's
that.
humorous.
It's most of the people that say like wash instead of
Dude,
wash.
get that shit out of
Y'all got one of them dishwashers back there?
here.
Mike
Yeah,
Anderson.
Dishwasher.
Mike Anderson,
Mike
rest in peace.
Anderson, rest in peace.
God bless him.
Not really dead,
Our
just
first
gone from
president,
Best Buy.
George Washington.
George Washington.
Who's that
Right
fella
side.
on the
Next
dollar?
week you'll have me all for shuttles.
Yeah.
That's good.
It
Should it be
is,
Thursday?
Because
too?
Lockwood just stands there and stares at you when you do a shuttle.
Wayne won't let that go.
It's just like, what is happening? I don't understand.
It's funny, like the beginning of the truck we did today, I was literally standing there just watching him take
Yep.
totes off. And I was like, wow. He just kept doing it. I was waiting for him to say something, but he wouldn't say anything.
Nope.
Because I was going to be like, it's not like you don't do this
Pretty
on
sure he-
shuttles, you know.
Pretty sure he knew exactly what you were doing. He's like, I just won't fucking say anything because
I won't let him win.
Wayne's gonna win then.
Little does he know that by just letting you stand there and say, wow, you have won.
When Wayne first started working there, Wayne would always make him mad on purpose. And Lockwood would often come to me.
My-
and be
my
like, I
goal-
just don't know why he tries to make him mad. And he was like, you just said it. He tries to make you mad.
My
and he's
goal-
like, and I was like, he's succeeding because you get mad.
My goal every time I go to work when we do trucks and stuff is to make Lockwood heated. Once he gets heated, he works at such a higher capacity. Everything is done super quick.
Yeah, he gets mad and he just works hard. It's effective.
I
It's just
understand.
fantastic. It's like you just take it and we go poke, 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 and then all of a sudden he starts leaking. You're like, I got it.
On some things I do at my job, there's just a level of I'm over this that it gets just gets done quicker.
Yeah.
It just does, and correctly.
If
It's
I
a weird thing.
if I get mad, I'm the opposite. I just
most
bitch about it.
things You shouldn't do while you're mad, like driving the end loader, the giant tractor.
Yeah, it's
We
dangerous.
should not do that when I'm mad. But like, if I'm doing something small, say I have to.
I shouldn't pull fragile boxes out of other boxes when I'm angry.
I throw shit at Best Buy.
Like when I'm cleaning off,
When you get pissed, sometimes
I
shit
start
gets
fucking throwing
tossed.
shit.
but like when I'm cleaning off all the steaks, sanding them down, and then repainting them. For some reason, when I'm mad, I just get those fucking things done.
It's like when me and Mikey were pulling totes off and I smashed my finger. I just hopped over and kicked the garage
Yeah.
door real quick. Because that thing fucked my finger up
Yeah.
when it smashed. Like, it was just... my fingernail fell off.
Becky, let me smash.
Straight up popped over, I kicked it, and I was like, God, I
That's a good
can't
video.
believe I smashed it.
Did it get you some blue?
Yeah, it was black, too.
Yeah, it was gross.
It was very nasty.
Is that the one where the nail fell off?
Yeah.
Was that the one you had to stab your nail?
Yeah.
Yes, when I had
I
to poke
remember
it with the paper clip that I
Yeah.
heated up. Yeah. It was the
What
What
grossest
happened
shit.
today? Or was it today?
You
where,
smashed your finger between something.
where I lightly smashed my
Yeah.
finger and
And then he's like, it was just like when you smashed your finger between the toes.
No,
and I was
Wayne
like,
said-
it's just plastic.
Wayne said, yeah, I said, yeah, I was like, and then he was like, said something about hurting, and I was like, it's just like when you smash your finger, we're equals now. He was like, it's just plastic, and I was like, yeah, it was just plastic when you smashed your finger, and he was like, it was different.
I clipped my fingernail. I still got a little blood under there. It was just on the edge the other day at work. I forgot to cut my fingernails, and I do it once a week because they don't grow super fast.
Yeah.
But they got a little bit longer.
I'm glad I know your nail cutting schedule now.
I'm lucky.
It's every Tuesday.
The reason it's relevant
3 p.m.
8 o'clock.
The reason it's relevant is because what I got it caught on was a wireframe trash can. And so when it came down on my nail, if my nail hadn't been there, it would have just taken the tip of my finger's skin right off. I got really lucky. It just slid right down and fucked up my nail. And I was like, oh, I need to cut that. Thank God that was there.
It's like the other day I trimmed my fingernail down a little too far.
Oh,
I
hate that.
hate
And
that.
I like got
so
I got the
much.
cuticle and everything, and I was like, oh, it hurts. Go to work the next day with Mikey. Mikey threw me something, and it hit me
Smacked
right
him
in the
right in his
pinky
finger.
nail, right where I tripped it down. I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
It's
Wayne was like, I knew it was going to happen too.
it always happens. It's just like when you get those little skin cuts on the tops of your fingers,
Mhm.
like right above your fingernail, and then like as soon as you go to reach into something, you immediately get caught and it
Oh,
scrapes
it's
further.
hangnail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
I've got one thing. It's this pinky here on my left hand. I broke it at one point, but it was like a super minor break. It was like fracture at worst.
One of those things they can't really do anything.
But
they
it
wouldn't
healed
do
wrong.
anything.
Well, I
about
didn't know I did it. I just
Nah.
smashed it in something. I had no idea. I was like, oh,
You're
it'll be
like,
fine.
oh, that hurts.
It healed wrong, and so now I have like a little bone fragment on the outside of my pinky, and if I hit it on something at just the wrong
Hurts like a
angle,
motherfucker.
oh, it shoots all the way up my arm, and I
You're
immediately
like, well
drop
then.
whatever I'm holding. It's just pure pain.
It's well, we were playing Magic the other day. I saw Jake hit his funny bone. He's just
Pretty
like,
funny.
he's like, ah, and I was like, I looked, I was like, ha ha, Jake, you suck.
Wow.
And he's just over there going like this, rubbing his arm.
Chick, you
Dude,
suck.
it's perfect because Dan was leaned back talking to that.
This is the culmination
one
of your
chick.
entire life.
Because Dan was leaning back talking to that one chick, and I can't remember what they were talking about something, and then Jake sat back down over YS when she sat down also, and he was talking about this stupid fucking issue that happened to him.
I love how he tried to interject in the middle of their story. Like they were telling a story about something or another. I couldn't remember what it was.
Something
it was about
definitely
her. It was
wasn't-
about her hair clients or something like
Yeah,
that.
something about her
freaking
clients,
out, coming
and
in
that
for,
he
like,
had
attention.
nothing to do with at all.
When Dan
Correct.
tells a story, and the people that are typically around Dan and good friends with Dan tell stories, they all have a very similar atmosphere about them. They're very animated about their stories, and their stories are usually good.
Yeah.
Because, like minds attract each other. Dan knows interesting people because Dan is an interesting guy. Jake, on the other hand...
It's his charisma.
Except for you fucking mopes.
Yeah, except for
Hey!
us.
Our charisma is also through the roof in the
At
right
least
situation.
10.
In the right situations. With Wayne, it's old ladies. With me, it's zealots. Zealots.
Why has
It's
it gotta be
Cranwell's
old ladies
driving
with me?
workers.
I don't know.
Why can't, I'm over the top of like 90% of the things we do.
Sure.
Sure. he says.
Very convincing, Mark.
But
Shit.
anyway,
Way to sell your buddy short.
Jake sits down and he looks at him and he just starts talking about this old lady he knew that was like, hey, you're a nice guy. No, I don't want to fuck you. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Excuse me.
He was trying really hard to just make the story interesting, laughing at his own
Well, because
punchline. It's
Dan-
like, shut the fuck up.
Because like we were talking about something, and she talked about how this old lady wanted some type of attention, and then Dan's like, speaking of old ladies, my buddy Wayne here.
The husky honey hunter.
as
Husky
they're
honey
talking
hunter.
about it, and he's like, we were at this bar, and then Wayne had these two chicks over here, like these old ladies, like dry humping him. I'm like, that's
Sexually
not
molesting
even how that happened.
It is now.
And then that's when like Jake interjected, saying like, well, they were like ripping my clothes off. I'm like,
And
I'm
that's
like,
when
why are
I
you trying to
made-
one up him?
That's when I
But
made
it's-
the very light, you weren't asking for a joke. I was in Jake's defense. I was like, Jake, don't let him tell you, no matter how you were dressed, you weren't asking for it.
that's when-
And he
then Jake
immediately was
got
just super
so
offended. He was like,
super
hey,
offended.
rape jokes aren't funny. And everyone else we were sitting with was laughing, and the salon lady who came in and talked to Dan was like, I don't know, that was pretty good. Because of course it's funny, because it didn't happen.
Yeah. That's what makes it funny.
Like, Jake, that wasn't a rape joke.
It was just
It was
the
just
context that you
yeah.
were throwing at us that we turned into a joke because you're lying.
because you're
They
lying.
definitely weren't ripping your clothes off.
It's just like there's so many times like it's such a pain in the ass a lot of the time.
Does he have to be the center of attention?
I don't
Yes.
think he has to be the center, but
Well,
he has to have an interesting
he
story.
Has to
also-
be there, yeah.
He has to be
Yeah.
like the guy you want to talk
He's
to.
got to be a part of it.
He doesn't
wants-
have to be the middle. He just has to be involved.
Does he want to be so bad that you're just like, I don't want to talk to you?
But here's the
A
thing,
lot of the
like,
time.
He'll pick one thing. He'll decide, like, this is my moment. This is when I have to be more interesting about this point than everybody else. It's like, Jake, just fucking be you. because whatever you're saying immediately sounds like bullshit.
Well, it's like when that guy randomly, me and Mark looking in the case that typically has like the commanders in it for like legendary creatures and stuff. We're looking at that case, like thinking about some ideas because we usually, as we do, we always brew ideas up in our head because we play Magic a lot.
Mine are always dumb.
And we're sitting there, and then
Because you're
one
always
guy
dumb.
comes and crouches in between us. He's like, "So, who do you think I should pick for my next commander? That would be a lot of fun." And we're like, "Well, what do you want to do?"
Yeah, that's a really broad question in this game. Like, what's your play style?
So like
I don't
essentially,
know, I just
Mark
wanna-
immediately jumped in. He's like, well, what kind of game do you want to play? This, or this? And the guy's like, oh, always this. And then Mark's like,
Duh.
well, you have like these as your options if you want to do this. Like, is there any color you specifically want to do? And then Jake immediately pops over and starts talking stupid shit about some stupid shit.
Well, this guy comes up and he goes, who should I play as a commander? That's a loaded question. What do you like? Oh, just something cheap. It's not helpful at all.
It makes no difference.
It's like, I don't care what your budget is. I need to know your play style.
We pick your budget after we pick your playstyle.
Yeah, because you can modify it to make it
Yeah.
Yeah.
expensive or cheap.
There's
Yeah.
enough legendary creatures in
You
Magic
could
that
literally
you can make
build-
any kind of deck.
Yeah.
Any deck you want on a budget.
You just got to know your play style.
Maybe that's a series we should do.
Budget
We're
deck.
not that skilled.
What? What do you mean we're not that skilled?
I mean, we probably
You gotta start somewhere.
Budget decks? Dude, there's tons of cheap bad cards.
We
that do the
build
job.
budget decks all the time.
Not
that.
because we want to.
Like
can do
that
that.
wizard deck I built.
Because we have to.
Might be a thing you make next.
It is
If-
because we have to.
make a
Remember that
budget
Autumn
deck
Black
and
deck I built for $30?
Yes.
That just absolutely stomped.
you could just show the cards as you go, explain what they
We
do,
could
and
do that.
combos
That'd
you
be
can
fun.
make with them. How good they are as budget decks.
The more combos you get, the more expensive it is.
That's true.
I would assume.
Because there's always at least one piece of every combo is expensive.
Because that's what
Almost always.
is like the linking
Like
factor.
essentially, what we should do one and make a budget deck for Mikey, so that way he's got a deck to play.
Yeah. We should make a couple decks that hit the broader playstyles. We should make an aggro deck. We should make a spellslinger deck. We should make an interactive deck. Ooh, we should make a I don't care about you. I'm going to do my thing deck.
Would you use my little starter deck at all?
We try.
So
We'd
I'll
have
give
see
it to
what
you.
cards are in it.
Do you want to do red green? Because I know that's what's in there.
I was gonna say Wayne's seen it.
Well, the reason we make the four main
We can make you
archetypes-
like a red green aggro deck.
I'll give you my deck and you give me it back.
The reason
how
we make
you
the
would
four
do
main
it.
archetypes is so you can get a little sample of the main things Magic does, so you can figure out which one you like playing. The one you like playing the most, that's the type of deck we should make you.
Well, like when I mentioned it to Nick, I was like, "Well, how do you want to beat your friends?" I was like, the question I asked, I was like, "How do you want to win?" And then he just told me, "I just want to utterly annihilate them."
Of course, Nick
So
would
I
want
was,
to do that.
so I was like,
There's a lot of ways to do that.
well, we could do this, or this. And he's like, I want to punch him. Because I was like, do you want to punch him? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And he's like, punch him. I'm like, all right, so we're going to do it to where you do infinite combat steps. He's like, what's that mean? I'm like, you will literally infinitely hit them until they're dead.
So how the game normally works is you play your cards, and then you get to attack, maybe play some more cards, and then it's the next turn. And then he gets to play some cards, maybe attack, maybe play more cards, next turn. But in Nick's case, it will be, I'm going to play some cards. I attack again, and again, and again, and again. I'm going to keep attacking. You don't get to attack.
Fuck you. Fuck you, dead.
But there's a lot of decks that, like, I have a couple that do infinite combos with certain things.
One of my stronger decks is Infinite. It's a combo deck.
Like,
Most of my other decks.
the majority of my combos are in my Dimir deck.
I think I only have one combo. Yeah, I only have one. I only have the 3-color deck right now.
They have 2 different combos in there. 3 different combos in there.
Every other deck is just, I'm going to do something. What next? That's about it. Pass.
That's about it.
Now you get to do something.
Those aren't bad decks, though.
Hopefully it's not as cool as my thing, because I really liked my thing. Oh, dang, I was way cooler than my thing.
It is fun, like, when you do, like, you build a deck and then you just accidentally pop off and you didn't think you would. It's the best feeling.
Yeah, there's a couple times I would do accidents, and I just didn't even know I could do that on my deck. Like, the first time I built the Worm deck, I didn't know I could gain life 6 times in one turn.
Yeah, like back when it was Tristani in the front.
Yeah, because I had a card that Tristani said whenever a dude came in, I gained life equal to how big his butt was.
You know how you get a big butt?
How?
You eat too much food. Add.
Can you believe we went this long without talking about Sullivan's? W.E. Sullivan's Irish Pub and Fare is a Peoria local pub serving Irish-styled food, with a few of their own creations as well. From their diverse menu to their extensive beer list, and even just the overall atmosphere, Sullivan's makes for a great location for everything, whether it's a lunch date, a night out with your friends, or a nice family dinner. And if that's still not enough to convince you, Then every week the chefs come up with a new special that's usually not on the menu for us to try. So the next time you're in the mood to go out for a good meal, head out to W.E. Sullivan's Irish Pub and Fair and show them some
Everyone
love.
knew what I meant.
And we're back.
And we're here.
Anyway, butts, Mark.
So I gain life equal to the size of its butt. Bigger butt, more life I gain. There's another worm,
Much like life.
much like life. Yes. Big ass, good life. There's another worm, when he comes into play,
Way to live infinitely, if you know what I mean.
he gains he
Damn
gains,
straight, son.
he gains power and toughness, so guts and butts,
Guts
equal to
and
the amount of
butts.
life you've gained. So say I have a dude who's got 15 on his butt, comes in, I gain 15 life. Then I play this other worm, and he gets 15 power and toughness. So now I gain 16 life on top of the 15 I just gained. And then I do it again because I make token copies of both of them, which means I basically say, hey, you know those two guys I just played? I'm going to clone them real fast. So I just do it all again. But because I've just gained 45 life, this worm comes in with 45, and so I do it again. I'm like, dude, I've gained 180 life this turn. What the fuck are you going to do about it? And everybody at the table's like, nothing. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
I
life.
don't think I can do that much damage. I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
Unless
Wow.
someone has an infinite ready to go.
Yeah, I had that in
Shoot
my
him to
deck.
death.
I had that in my deck pretty much the entire existence of that version of the deck. I found it one time at the end when I was about to tear it apart. I had no idea it was in there. I was like, oh god, I could have been doing this the whole time.
It's true. It was very funny.
It's really fun to find something you didn't even know you put in your deck. Especially like with Albert. We broke that Prosh deck. We found like 6 combos in there we didn't even know were there. I was like, oh shit, look at this.
Well, it's like when he figures out he has an infinite combo in his deck, he immediately goes for it every time.
Every time.
Like that's your goal.
Yeah,
it's like,
well,
I
that's
need-
Albert's goal. Every time once he knows he's got one, he's like, that's what I gotta do. That's how I win. And so every time we find a new one, it's like, oh, cool, you can do that instead. And he goes, yeah, I can. And then he forgets about it.
Goes back to the old one. Tell you what, I feel like he's enjoyed Magic more since he got Prosh, though.
I
What's
think Prosh
Prosh?
really made the game better for him.
What's Prosh?
Prosh is a pre-constructed commander set that the company produced. So he only was printed in that commander set until a couple years later they printed a special Masters set that he came out in.
Yeah.
But until then, you could only get him through that. And he cares about tokens. So he cares about little dudes that you made out of thin air. A lot. And coincidentally, tokens are really good when you throw them at your problems. And he's in the colors that throw tokens.
Gotcha.
Red, green, and black are very, look at all these dudes. I'm going to sacrifice all of them for nothing but profit.
Money.
Their lives
It's
exist.
about what it is.
Their lives exist for my success.
I like it.
I don't know. I've been kind of wanting to rebuild Slimefoot.
Yeah.
Just because I miss making you so mad.
Why does it make you mad?
Here's the thing. Wayne unapologetically built an infect deck. But every time you're like, this deck's infect.
Apologetically.
But every time you're like, this deck's an infect deck, he'd be like, no, it isn't.
Why?
Because it makes people mad. He's like, it's not infect. And then he would kill you with it. And people would be like, what? You said it was an infect. And he goes, it's not. Every single card in that deck that doesn't make a token is an infect card.
No, it's not.
Listen to him. He's already pandering.
It's not. It's not. It's
What deck
most
is
of-
it then?
Essentially, it's in black and green.
And it's infect.
The whole goal is to make tokens and kill those tokens because when my tokens die, my commander shoots you for damage for each token.
Okay.
And if I put infect on him, he then shoots you for infect damage. So then I only got to kill 10 tokens and he shoots everybody with 10 infect points.
So the way we play the game, you have 40 life. Infect, however, is an alternate win condition. Instead of hitting their 40 life, you only got to hit them 10 times. Doesn't matter how much life they have. I have 1 billion life because I went infinite. And Wayne's like, cool, here's 10 infect and you lose.
What a guy.
That's just a way I like to win.
So
it's a
it's
lot
an
of fun.
infect deck.
It is.
It at its core, yes.
So
It's
an infect
So that's
deck.
what it is.
In its playstyle, in its victory, in its loss, in literally every aspect, yes. Not just, oh, you know, it's in there. There's just a little bit of...
It
Sprinkled in some
started
infect.
out as just being in there.
But then it took over. It
Well,
infected
here's
the
the
deck.
thing.
Infected the deck
He's
because
not
how
wrong.
consistent it won with
It
infect.
started off with just some in there. He's like, oh, I just need to fill some slots. I'll put this card in here that gives my commander infect. Well, every time he didn't have that card, he lost. extremely hard. The deck just didn't perform. Every
Yeah.
time he got that card out, the deck won by a landslide out of nowhere. So he's like, I guess this is just what I do now.
I'm just an infect boy.
So then I built it around that, and then it was a consistently winning deck. It was very good. Then Mark was like, I'm tired of this shit. And so he got that card out again that says you can't have infect counters.
It says I am not allowed to get poisoned.
And he was like, fuck you, Wayne.
Yeah, it made it really hard to deal with him.
At first, I just put it in the deck, and then I was like, nope, she's in charge of it now because she's legendary.
And she's also like 2 mana.
Yeah.
So on turn 2, he's like, I got it. My commander comes out on turn 3.
And I'll be like, ooh, what are you going to do, punk?
Plus, on top of that, I have to make a bunch of tokens. But originally, because originally it was all about making a bunch of tokens and then running through people because it was the Fungus Among Us. That's what it was called because it was all like fungus and sapperling kind of cards. And eventually, it was to like make a bunch of them and then overrun kill you. And I had to do that a few times because I got to the point where I was like, I had another card in there that would, on my combat, clone a copy of a card. So I was like, put this on this card. And it also, every person's upkeep makes a sapperling token. So then I now have 2 of them. Next combat, I have 3 of them. I just kept getting more, and they just kept stacking on a bunch of extra little tokens.
So first turn, he would be like, I have a dude, and he made a dude. The second turn, I have 2 dudes, and they made 2 dudes. Now I have 5 dudes. And then the next turn, he's like, oh, 3. Guess what? 11.
But in between that, because it was for each player's turn, that card would make a token.
Gotcha.
So I say, like, turn 1, I only have 1. I have it copied for turn 2. So turn 1, I get 3 tokens if I'm in a 4 tokens if I'm in a 4-man pot. Then on my second turn, I now have 2. That now makes me 8 tokens apiece.
I get it.
Super nice.
Really
Got me to my
hand.
win con real fast.
Well, especially because there's 2 cards that do that. And one of them costs less mana and makes all of them bigger.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
So it's like, hey, remember this card we printed like 10 years ago? Let's make a better one. And everybody was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't see anything wrong with it, yeah.
There's a lot of cards that they're like, oh, we're going to print this again. And then they're like, it needs reprinted. Yeah, go for it. And then there's other cards that are like, why would you do that? And it's always the cards that are like expensive cards. That's when they're like, why would you do
I
that?
don't like Grim Tutor.
It's not that big of a fucking deal.
Honestly, not that good of a tutor.
It's not.
But one of my favorites is there's a list called the Reserve List where they basically said, hey, we're never going to make these cards again. This is the only time they'll ever exist, so we're done. We're not reprinting these anymore. And people are like, okay, that makes sense because these are some like super expensive cards, like thousands of dollars, so you don't want to absolutely ruin them for the collectors who were here since the start of the game. And Wizards was like, yeah, but what if we just gave it a different name? Here's the perfect example, word for word. There is a spell called Fork. It costs 2 red mana. You take any spell that has been cast, you redirect it. There's a spell called Redirect that does the exact same thing, but it's not a fork because fork is reserved.
That's right.
That's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same spell.
I literally tried to play that card the other day.
It's great.
I should have just waited. Had I not told Nick to like ask him like, does it target something? I should have just waited. Then he would have played it, and then I'd be like, I am going to do this.
That would have saved the shit out of us. I think I would have beat him if you did that.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure I had my win coming up right behind him.
It would have been a smart move on my part. Anyway, let's hop on into our topic of the day. What is your biggest fear? Mikey?
Me first?
We talked about yours a little bit
Yep.
at work, so why don't you
You
go
know
ahead and
about mine a
explain
lot.
yours?
Take
Mine.
as much time as you need because I feel like I have the least to say.
Mine is the ocean.
Why is yours
Like
the ocean?
not the like shore. Like I swam like when I went to Florida.
Like deep
Gulf
ocean?
Shores, yes, deep ocean. The main reason is because like I'm not afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid of things we know about. I'm afraid of the things we don't know about.
Like Cthulhu's and stuff.
Yes.
Like Godzilla.
Megalodons, mousosaurs, dinosaurs. in the
Confirmed to
ocean.
still exist, by the way.
I'd say the scariest thing that we know of that exists
Dinosaurs in
the
general, not megalodons and mousosaurs.
Wayne's
We're talking
got
about coelacanths.
Wayne knows.
Coelacanths are still around.
the main scary thing out there that we know of, I think, is squid,
This fucking guy.
giant squid.
Giant squid.
Those things are nuts.
Not down,
Cthulhu's face.
not down yet. Not
Have
down
you
with
seen
them.
the oil pipeline that
Yeah.
just had the camera and it was just this giant like fan that had sticks coming off the side tentacles? What the fuck is that?
A squid. I've looked it up.
That thing is nuts.
It's technically that I think it's a big fin something squid. It technically is like the longest squid, but those little tendrils, its tentacles are like useless basically. I mean, I'm sure they use it for things, but they're not. They're not. They're like
They're not big.
little wiry boys.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They're like jellyfish.
It's just deep ocean. Like that's another thing about squids is like they almost never come
to the
to
surface.
near the surface at all. So it's like I shouldn't be scared of them, but
But it's the
fact-
thought of
if
like,
that
is there
fucker
one
did,
big enough down
yeah.
there to pull my boat
It's,
down?
it's just the drastic.
where it doesn't have to, but its tentacle sure fuck can. Just
Yeah, and it's just the drastic fear of a tentacle grabbing you, and then going down and down and down and never not
Yeah.
going down.
and you die on your way down because it's so deep. Like you just die from fucking
Doesn't
whatever
matter,
it's
even
called.
if you can hold your breath long enough.
Yeah.
you just-
Also,
the
it's
pressure
like-
crushes you.
It's the amount of things you can't do in the water. Like even with a shark, where I'm not afraid of shark attacks, 'cause I know how rare they are and
Mm-hmm.
how like they don't. It's not of malice. Like they're
We-
not like
we-
fuck that human. But it's like if you're getting attacked by a shark, the fuck are you gonna do?
Well,
Like
they say you're supposed to
honestly.
punch it in the nose, but have you ever tried to punch underwater?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're so humans are so fucking
Stick a
helpless.
finger in its eye.
It's good to say. That's like to say if someone were to attack me, I'd beat the shit out of them. It's awesome to
It
say that.
is,
It's really
yeah.
cool to say, but I highly doubt that's how it's gonna go.
No,
They could bite my arm. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do now?
You're now in a panic situation.
Yeah, you're panicked. You're in water. You're probably drowning.
Realistically, the best way I see it, because punching it is probably not going to do shit, because of the fact how hard it is to punch underwater.
Well, I mean, fight or flight. You're
If
not
you-
flying underwater.
If you can
Barely fighting.
if you can stick something in its eye, it'd be your best bet.
If you have something,
Your
And
thumb,
didn't drop
you
it.
always got your thumb.
no, you die if it bit that thing off.
You have two
Your
arms.
thumb?
If it hit it hard enough and it just like thump, and took your fucking arm away, you might not die. Might not die.
Until all the other sharks smell the blood.
Or if you're far out
Did
enough
you know
where
they
you
can smell it from like 200 miles away?
you bleed out or something.
Bold Shark Week.
But other than that, the fact that we don't know, we barely know dick about our own ocean. That's another reason I'm like, we don't know what the fuck's down there. Could
I
be
love the
anything.
stuff like the blue.
Did you ever watch the Mermaid
Yeah.
documentary?
They're just like, we don't know what that was.
Yeah, don't know what that
so
was.
our scientific name for this random sound that came from the least populated spot in the ocean is the bloop.
They're like, we have no idea what that was.
Yeah. As
No-
far as we know,
No
there's
farther
like-
no farther explanation. They're basically just like, yeah, I don't know.
It's the world turtle.
There's like, well, what do we think lives there? They're like, as far as we know, almost nothing.
And they're like, cool. I'm glad you
Glad
didn't know
something
that.
made a sound.
Like, the things that don't scare me are, there's like an Instagram account of a Russian deep sea fisherman that drags stuff up and he takes pictures of stuff that they pull out,
Mhm.
and it looks all creepy, but like you
So
know
it's deep
that
pressure.
yeah, that when it comes up, it fucking gets all fucking bloated because of its coming up, and that
doesn't
doesn't
look like what is down there.
that's what doesn't scare me because when it's down there, it probably looks like an anglerfish is probably the wildest looking thing down there.
It's just gelatinous.
'Cause they look all
when you get it
crazy.
towards the side.
Well, that's what it is with a blobfish.
Yeah,
You
that-
see
yeah.
a blobfish and like, oh my god, it's a human face. I'm like, no, it isn't. Like, if you
It's in
they've
there.
taken
It's
pictures,
a fish.
They've taken pictures of blobfish at their normal depth, and they look like normal fish.
Yeah, an ugly fish, but a fish nonetheless.
Yeah, it's not great, but
Yeah.
it's not this gelatinous thing.
Also, they say like you'll
It's not a
see
bloated baby head.
you see pictures of things from down there, and it's like all of it's super skinny. Like none of it. They're all made like what's the shark? The goblin shark.
Mm-hmm.
It's all ugly as fuck, and
Goblin boy.
they're tiny. Goblin. Shouts out to Goblin Boy.
They are tiny.
They're tiny. Yeah. They look all ugly, but they're like itty bitty because they
They're like cookie
can't.
cutters.
My favorite
They
part
can't-
is
they can't eat
when
that much.
When they take pictures of them, they try to make them look as big as possible.
Yeah, they like take pictures of their face real close up, and
It's
you're
like
like,
when
those
you
teeth
take. It's
must
like
be
when those
huge.
people take pictures of their fish and they're like,
Yeah,
hold
there it
away.
is. Look how big it is.
Look how
Look at this
big
thing.
this monster is.
But
By
yeah.
the way, I did tell Mikey I'm gonna catch 15-pound bass tomorrow.
Whoa,
He
okay.
did make that claim. I said, good fucking luck. Wayne's like, I've never seen a 15-pound bass in my life.
I'm gonna go ahead and mark that percentage down to 0 on Wayne winning.
Yeah. Got any questions about my
Undiscovered ocean.
deep ocean fears?
Is it like
It's a combination of like drowning, obviously. That
Okay, so
I
it's
feel like that's
drowning.
a terrible way to go. Not being able to do anything. I don't like being helpless. I'm mildly claustrophobic. I don't like being able to move. So like,
you like being able to move.
I enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this something you were always afraid of, or just like
Yeah.
did something happen? You're like,
Nope.
Fuck the ocean. I'm done with that boy.
I've just always been terrified of the ocean. Like when I was in, like I said, I'm not afraid of like I swam
Like
from
on the shore and
I
stuff.
swam to a sandbar, and I knew even when doing that the shark travels in the channels close to shore or whatever. And I did it, and I was thinking the whole time that's what happened. I was like
there
I
could
said,
be a shark right underneath me.
I'm not afraid of sharks that as much. So I'm like, the chances of it attacking
cool.
me. Yeah, you can't live if you're afraid of things like that.
Ah.
But I've never been on the deep ocean, and I do not plan on going on the deep ocean because
Gotcha.
terrifying.
Never gonna visit the Marianas Trench.
It's
Nope,
part. It's
fuck
part.
it.
Of, it's part of it.
It can be out there.
I'd love to. I'd love to see it.
Go all the way down there.
Yeah.
You'd risk the bends.
Maybe.
He says maybe.
Yeah, I'd rather have like a sub that can make it all the way down there.
I mean, you still have to risk.
That's terrifying
it.
to
It
me,
doesn't
too.
matter what vessel you're in. You have to slow.
But it's
descend.
it's a lot easier.
I mean, the
So-
bends doesn't care about your pressure. It literally does not matter. What
This
vessel
coming
you're
from a
in.
man that's never been in a submarine. When he
Well,
said,
it's
it's a lot easier. Like he's fucking done it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, statistically, it's a lot easier to go down in a sub.
I mean, it won't feel as cramped if you're in a big sub compared to like a research vessel, but you still have to take like 6 hours to
Yeah.
ascend.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand it's a slow process, but if you're with the right kind of crew and everything, it would be no problem. Like you won't get it. Be no
No.
issue.
I
It's the
guess.
times like where like if you
I ain't
panic,
going there,
and
though.
something shit happens. And
I don't
you
give a
go up
fuck
too
what they
fast.
have.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down.
They can have the
Fuck
cool.
what
They
they
can have the
have.
nicest fucking like nuclear sub. That's
If there's a chance there's a fucking
Can
Godzilla
detect
down there, I
everything.
want to see it. Okay.
I
What
don't.
if Hollow Earth theory, huh? What if it's just the other side of the ocean?
I'm fine with letting it be.
You want to be inside the world?
Nope.
You want to see those 12-foot tall Aryan boys?
Do you know about the conspiracy theory of the North Pole? And you can
There's a hole up there,
dive
and
to
that's why there's no
Sentinel.
pictures.
There's dinosaurs and shit down there.
Yeah, and there's 12-foot tall blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryans.
Yep.
They all wear loincloths. They don't wear clothes.
This kid that I worked with named Aaron Pierce at Best Buy before Wayne started working there, he went to Hawaii. And this kid was already weird. Aaron, he's a pretty weird dude. He's cool.
Did
Very
he swear
weird
that
dude.
he found a tunnel that
No.
led?
No, he was in Hawaii,
Shangri-La?
and he had to get a ride in a random car from a dude who's just like, I need a ride. And Aaron's a hippie, like typical,
Let's hop
stereotypical hippie dude. Talks all slow and dude and stuff like that. But he was like, I met this weird guy, and from then I was like, this is gonna be a fucking story, because he said I met a weird guy, and I was like, you're weird.
When a weird person meets a weird guy.
Yeah, and he was
Freaking. Crazy.
he was like, I was pretty scared actually, and he told him that this guy, who has a pilot's license, that's how he got to Hawaii. He's like, yeah, I came here to fly, to learn how to fly, and he was like, why? And he was telling him this long story about how he's gonna fly to the fucking North Pole, and he's gonna jump out of his airplane mid-flight. He was like, and this guy's dead serious. He was like, I'm gonna jump out because I'm, the hole, and then I was obviously like, what? The hole? And he
What hole?
had to explain. He was like, and then he explained it to me, and he's like, there's this hole, you go down, it's like utopia down there with dinosaurs and the perfect race. And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, this dude is fucking nuts. And I got out of the car. He was like, I got out of the car like an hour earlier than my destination, because I was like, yeah, man, you can let me out here. And I was like, excuse me? I had no idea about that theory until then. I was
Yeah,
like,
Hollow
people
Earth is
really
fun.
think that.
So there's two forms of Hollow Earth.
What if it's real though?
Yeah, the first Hollow Earth is the theory that there's no real pictures of the North Pole. All of them are doctored because there's a giant hole in the North Pole that leads into the center of the Earth, and that there's a micro sun in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the core of the planet. And so it's always daytime. Everything grows giant down there. Everything's happy and peaceful. There's a second Hollow Earth that Shangri-La is real, and that there's tunnels all over the world and cave systems
Yeah.
that lead to Shangri-La.
I know
in the middle
Shangri-La
of
is
the
real.
planet.
Shangri-La is real. You
Yeah.
ever seen The Mummy?
Oh, jeez.
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor?
But yeah, like the theory is that it doesn't matter what tunnel.
Pool of Immortal Life? Am I alone?
It doesn't matter
Am I
what
alone
tunnel.
here?
Ra's al Ghul, clearly.
Come on.
DC,
The fucking Yeti's protected, okay?
Lazarus Pit. But it doesn't matter what
Lazarus
tunnel
Pit.
you go into. It takes like 6 hours,
Yeah.
no matter where you entered in the world, and you'll show up in the same spot as everyone else. That's the other theory. But they're both
Dumb.
Hollow Earth. That the Earth doesn't have a middle. It's just
Yeah.
a
There's no-
crust
The
a
very
layer of
thin
magma,
layer of
and then
magma.
another crust,
And then it's peaceful
Utopia.
and utopia from there.
and then it's just great.
What was that arc map?
The center.
The center, yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
straight
it.
up had that.
That's basically it.
Where there's a center area with just utopia down
Well,
there.
We went down there that one time, and that's where that one team decided to build a base. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
And we're like, fuck these guys.
Spawned a bunch of little
anyways.
monsters, rock golems there.
It's just on the other side of the ocean.
Who's
Mickey.
going next?
You just gotta go through the ocean.
Fuck that.
That's right on.
I'd rather not know.
I think I'm gonna say mine will probably be next.
You next?
Yeah. But first, check out this.
Here's an ad.
This episode is brought to you by the Beard Struggle. It's always time to grow out your face forest, so why not start today? And while you're at it, you'll need some solid products for the upkeep of your beard. The Beard Struggle has everything from trimmers to straighteners and day-to-day care tools. So visit thebeardstruggle.com and use promo code TIMESUP15 at checkout for 15% off. Come on, guys. Don't let your beard be weird. Get the products you need. And if you're not sure what you need, they have a quiz just for you to get products tailored to those needs. Again, visit thebeardstruggle.com and use code TIMESUP15 at checkout. That's TIMESUP 15. May Odin be with you.
And we're back. All right. My biggest fear. Now you guys talk about all this Hollow Earth stuff. It's kind of freaking me out.
That can't be your biggest fear.
It's not.
It's a cop out.
It is definitely a cop out if I were to pick one.
Yeah.
It's Gimli growing sentient.
He already has.
No.
He'll end you.
He's tried.
He's a little assassin.
He's tried a few times.
The dog's little one. You see the assassin?
I think
Dog.
my biggest fear would be suffocating.
Yeah.
I don't like not breathing.
I'm pretty sure everybody who breathes likes it.
Like,
I'm pretty down with it.
it's not cool. I'm not about it.
Wow.
There's been times like where I was swimming one time and I got my feet stuck in the fucking thing and I almost drowned.
You ever came up under the pool covers?
Yes.
You ever tried to come up under one of them motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Those things are heavy.
And it's just like a vacuum, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
Yes.
I did that when I was like 10. I was like, no.
Yeah, I've
So
done
that might
that
have been
too.
where it fucking came from. Or my fear of deep ocean or some shit.
The fear of the void. Not only were you in darkness, but you were like, oh, I can feel no water, but also no air.
But I think it's like mostly the thought of like just not breathing that I'm just not.
If you've ever
comfortable with.
had any kind of experience, like I almost choked on a fucking mozzarella. You know those mozzarella sticks
Yeah.
that came in there's like a little 4 count, and they were all together at school lunches.
Yeah.
You guys have those?
Mm.
I almost choked on one of those once.
It's like
I ate it, and the string just went down my throat.
like me
and I was like,
about like sixth grade, 7th grade, something like that. I was they had chicken nuggets at lunch, and I was like, "Blah, chicken nuggets! I fucking love those."
I love
So
nuggets.
I was eating chicken nuggets, and then one time I started choking on one,
Candies.
and I was just like, I'm like really fucking choking. I can't talk.
Actually choking.
I tried to throw up, but I'm like, oh shit, it's like stuck. And I like looked at my friend. And my face was getting rid of. He's like, are you fucking choking? And I'm like,
You're like
and he's like, I don't know what to do.
What
So
a
that's
guy.
like I like, stood up and started looking around because it was the time we ate in the gym
Mhm.
because it was like Edison school,
Yeah.
like we were eating the little cafeteria gym thing. And I just fucking happened to see a teacher that was like holding something out, like talking. I fucking ran straight into his arm.
You're
and
like,
it just
help.
went, and it just fucking threw up on his arm. He's like, well, that's disgusting.
Yeah, like, I
Why
was
did you do
choking.
that? And I was like, I was choking. And he's like, why didn't you just say something?
Like, I'm
Because I
fucking
was
choking.
Like,
What
I-
a teacher. What a
like-
fucking asshole.
He was pretty much just going like, why didn't you just get my attention? I could do the Heimlich maneuver. And I was like, no time.
I pulled it out
Like,
myself.
it was so bad. Like I literally walked over to the water fountain, tried to wash it down because it was like so tight in my throat, and I was like just piling water in my mouth. It wasn't doing nothing.
Have you ever choked on ice?
No.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, you're like, oh my. And then it just like melts enough to where it's like, whoop, and goes down. And you're like, what the
Here's
fuck
my
just
thing with
happened?
ice. The reason like ice is the worst is because you're like, all right, it's just ice, it's gonna go away. But because you,
Or you
in
feel
your
like
mind,
it's not going away.
Yeah, because in
You
your
panic.
brain you're like, it's gonna go away, and then it doesn't go away fast enough. You're
You're
just
like, oh
it's
my.
not going away.
Yeah.
You start rubbing.
You also get a brain freeze like almost fucking immediately because like cold, always cold. It's still cold there, and it's just like
just cutting off your lung. Well, if you breathe
Hurts.
in too much cold air once, like too fast, it can give
yeah.
you.
Have you ever? I've gone
Never
on a
been to
run.
Antarctica, so I couldn't
I've gone
say.
on a run in like winter.
Yeah, it's
Back
you're
when
not
I used to
supposed
run more. No, it hurts. Like it literally hurts to breathe. And
You're
you're
not
like,
supposed to do strenuous exercise.
The only
Like,
time
when it's cold,
I
yeah.
ran in the wintertime was when we did snow
Swim?
runs at swim.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I just
we'd
don't.
get hopped up in our swimsuits and we would take off running outside because they would have us run all the way down, hit the stop sign, come back.
There's been countless amount of times where in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., when I used to like live with my parents or when I lived at Seth's, I'd be thinking, I'd be like, man, I need to get in shape. You know how when you're really at night, you're like, I can do everything right now. I can just fix
You're
my
like,
life.
so wait.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
can fix my life.
I got my second win. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I need to get in shape, so I just went on a run.
It's like when you take that Limitless pill, you're like, no.
Yeah, you're like, I can do it all right now.
Yeah, the most exercise and stuff I did winter wise is working where I work now. We'll cut down trees all winter.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, it's a lot more work than it sounds like.
Yeah.
You think the chainsaw does it all, but it doesn't.
It's just the wintertime. It's
Yeah.
a bitch.
And so we're cutting down
Bundled
trees.
up on top of everything else.
Yeah, when we're cutting down trees and limbs and stuff and moving them around, the second it starts hurting to breathe, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Break
I'm
time.
done.
I'm gonna sit inside the truck with the AC on for a while. get
I
the hot
hate
air in my
winter time.
face.
It's not fun.
I'd rather do
sometimes.
cold. I love fall. I'd rather
Fall, I
do
think,
Fall
is
and
my
spring are
favorite.
Fall and spring are mine.
Fall is best. I don't
Fall's
really
my
care
turkey
for
season
spring.
because all the bugs start to die.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the bugs.
I
It's
only
not
like
too hot.
I like
cold,
spring because
not
that's
hot.
like the perfect time to start like going fishing and catching.
I hate
turtles
spring
and stuff.
because it's fucking wet in the air.
All the humidity.
You shower when you
Yeah, but
walk
here's the
outside.
thing,
Hate it.
where
Yeah,
we
you don't
are,
need to shower at home anymore.
it's humid
Fuck off.
all the time. Doesn't matter if it's spring or
Yeah,
summer.
that's
It's
true.
always wet.
When me, Wayne, and our buddy Johnny went to Arizona, we were like, "What is this?"
Yeah, dude, it was
It's 110, but I'm not dying.
But I don't feel bad. It's like, how is it?
the only
110
time
but
I
feels
felt
90?
that there were 2 times I felt bad when we were in Arizona. Once when I ate the Chef Boyardee macaroni and cheese, and then we went and climbed a mountain.
Yeah.
Wrong move.
Terrible. move.
Terrible freaking choice.
The worst choice he could have made.
Literally felt like I was gonna throw up and just die.
Eating anything at all would have been bad, but he ate Chef Boyardee mac and cheese.
Yes, it was fucking gross. But I was like, "Well, it's the only thing I had, so I'm out of money almost. So I'm just gonna eat it."
Yeah.
No, that's the kind of thing you eat like greens for.
yeah, something that'll give you energy, but
We
not
know that
no
now.
carbs. Yeah.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
broccoli, lettuce it up.
No, next
all
time we
day.
go, I feel like we can do it, no problem.
Me and Johnny even got really close, but it's like we said, it's 110 degrees, and you're like, wow, it's crazy, but don't let it fool you. It's still 110 fucking
Oh,
degrees.
yeah, it's still hot as hell, though.
You get to the top of a mountain, and you're just like, I'm dying.
And then the other time after that was when we went to Fossil Creek, and then I got sunburned.
Dumb, yeah, stupid.
Second
sunburn.
degree or third degree?
It's
Just
second.
regular
Was
sunburn.
regular sunburn?
It was
was-
gone the
yeah.
next day.
It wasn't like a super bad sunburn, but it was
Because
a decent.
I
It was
have
like
this weird thing-
uncomfortable.
That if it's not like a 3rd degree sunburn, I'll have it. If it's on my face and stuff, like where the issue is for like that day, and then I don't have an issue. No more after that. Because we went and bought aloe and everything. I didn't even use it. I went to sleep, woke up, I was like, well, I feel fine.
Yeah. Went and bought aloe for him.
Mm-hmm.
We went swimming at night. That was night we went swimming at night
Yeah, when you got freaked out when I was swimming.
when I was half drunk.
Yeah.
Wayne scared me.
I was just sitting there just floating around in the pool, and then Mikey came up to me, and I was like,
Wayne was acting like a turtle, and it was legitimately freaking me out.
He thinks he was drunk, but little ayahuasca was in there.
It wasn't scaring me as much as I was like, just being goofy with it.
Mikey may have just taken a bite out of a cactus and suddenly peyote.
I was like,
It's like, whoa, it's a
Wait.
turtle!
Wayne was a literal turtle.
It was a lot of fun while we were there.
I
though.
love
Freaking me
peyote.
out, man. That's my fear is peyote.
Mikey's got the video on his YouTube channel.
Go check it out. Tag on Michael on YouTube. It's
It's
a-
Hashtag not
legitimately,
sponsored.
legitimately
Sponsored.
like one of the funnest things we've
I'm
done.
paying me.
He's paying.
That's the funnest thing that I've done.
As far as a trip, yeah.
Yeah, an actual that was an actual the only actual vacation I've ever taken.
Where we just went and did random stuff.
Yep.
We went to when we went to
Gonna have to
Colorado.
fix that.
Like Colorado was going to it was a vacation, but we went there to see a comedy show. So we just
Yeah.
went to see a comedy show. I went to Texas. I went and seen not even my relatives. So I was there seeing relatives. We didn't do
It's
anything.
like we went and saw relatives when we went to Florida.
Yeah,
me and
see,
my brother.
like when we went to Florida, that
We
was a
went to see my
vacation.
grandparents and stuff. It was fun. I had a lot of fun while we were there.
Vacations with your like, it was just 3 friends going
Yeah.
on vacation, so it was a different vacation than like a family
Different vibe.
vacation. Yeah. Hashtag vibe.
Vibe check.
Well, it's like we were also at the pool, and Mikey had his GoPro and stuff, and I had my camera because we were messing around with the fact that they videotape underwater.
Yep.
We were doing stupid stuff, and then out of nowhere, like this one chick came out of her hotel room. She came down to swim, and then like she saw we had cameras
With her
and stuff,
mom.
like messing around, and then she went back and she came back with her dad. It's like
It was her mom. She came back with her mom.
she came out with her mom.
Oh yeah, because
She
Johnny
came
sat
back with her dad.
Johnny sat and talked to her mom.
Yeah.
Weird.
What a hustle.
Well, it's just because like we were there.
Johnny's a social
Johnny's-
butterfly.
yeah, he's a people
He's a
person.
very people like.
Well, because like they were close enough to us, like it was easy for conversation, and like she asked how we were enjoying the pool,
Yeah.
if it was nice. And stuff
Johnny,
like
yeah,
You're
like
all
Johnny.
swimming in the same water.
Johnny
not
was the
like
only
being
one talking
strangers.
to her, and then he came over and he was like telling us all. It's like, yeah, she goes to the University of blah blah blah, and does. I'm like, what?
that. Like we,
He's like,
we
yeah, I
were
just
just
wanna
hanging
talk
out,
to
but
her.
it was just weird that she knows we had cameras, so she went and got her dad and came out. It's like you just gotta say, don't film me.
Yeah. Like I literally weren't filming. I just brought the GoPro, the Hero 4, right before we went for that
Yeah.
occasion to take it to Fossil Creek to film underwater. And I was like, I want to see how it looks
We
and
wanted to
sounds.
test to see
I had
how
my
it looked
MacBook
underwater,
there,
yeah.
so I was like, I can just film it real quick and then go back to the hotel and look at it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah, like I'm gonna do it.
And then there was that one night we were there. We were sitting in the hot tub, and then some random lady
5
sat
feet
down.
apart.
because we're not.
Butt lovers. But we were sitting in the hot tub, and then some random lady came and sat down. Dead silent. She never said a
Yeah,
word.
didn't do anything
She
either.
just sat in the hot tub. I'm like, this is weird.
So
And then like her like son-in-law or something that is like in a rehab facility pretty much came and sat down in the hot tub, and they started talking about his rehab. I'm like,
Because I think I got out first.
yeah, you and Johnny both got out, and I was sitting there. I was like, are they coming back? I like look back, and I
No.
see him over in the pool. I'm like,
I think we were looking at you.
have a good
'Cause
night.
They had their back to us, and I was just staring away, and I was like, I ain't fucking sitting in a hot tub with two random dude and a chick.
So you guys thought it was weird to be in a hot tub with strangers?
A small hot tub.
So yes, strange.
Sure.
If it's a big hot tub, no.
Do all that naked.
No.
I have done that naked.
First of all, I won't do it naked.
Why were
by
you doing
myself.
it naked?
because it was a nude hot spring, and my uncle was like, "We're gonna go to this thing," and I was like, "Okay." And we went in there, and he goes, "I'm gonna go on this side," and he's like, "All right," and he goes, "Don't go on this side." I'm like, why? And he goes, "Because I don't want my nephew to see me naked." I was like, "That's fair."
You're like, hey, you got a point there, bud.
And I was like, "I'm about it." So I went on the other side, and we were just two dudes in two different places in a
Chilling.
nude hot spring with a bunch of strangers. I was like, "This is what I'm doing."
But that's
tonight.
that's kind of different because that's the thing. You know what I mean? It's a nude. You know what I mean? It's like
I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to do
I wouldn't do it.
If I was there doing it, then yeah.
Well, here's how it was
doing
brought up to me. We were driving through the valley in Sierra Mountain Valley. It's way up northern California. It's a valley surrounded by mountains, so it's totally flat, bunch of farmland. There's
Yeah.
a spring on the end. But even though it looks flat, its elevation is like 6,000
Like,
feet.
yeah.
It's really high up there. And we were driving back home, and he goes, "You want to go to a hot spring?" I was like, "A hot spring?" He goes, "Yeah, it's nude." I was like, "Sure."
you know, like,
That's as complicated as it was. He goes, "All right, we're going."
oh, all right.
I don't think I'd have a problem with it if it was the environment of the
That's what I'm
situation.
saying. Yeah,
Like in our situation,
It's
that is not the environment.
it was probably a little like out to here.
It's
Well,
about
there were a lot of
about-
small spaces.
Our
So
hot
there-
tub is literally about the size of this table.
It
There
was,
was
a little
a-
bigger.
They had one big
Right
pool
here,
that
maybe.
you could get in that had a lot of space in it, but most of it was very close.
Yeah,
It's like me and Trey when we would go swimming in the mornings
Mhm.
while he was getting ready for the Air Force. So every time after we'd get out, we'd go sit in the hot tub.
Yep.
We would do that, but it's a pretty big hot tub. But every time we would get in there, people would just come sit next to us. It's like, why?
it's like when you're using a urinal. The dude there's like 8
Just
urinals.
walk up
There's
next to
6
you.
in there,
Guy
and
just
he
got to
comes
come next to you and start peeing. You're like, dude,
Looks
just
over, tries to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey man, you really got a member there. Please don't look at me.
don't look at me.
I'm just trying to pee and have a nice day."
I
and
think
go
Mark
back
was
my
trying to
family."
get picked up by someone.
Isn't he always? It's his
You're right.
game.
He's a catch.
It's just like it throws you off.
Yeah. It was
Like,
just
when some random stuff like that happens.
well. First of all, we were
There's do's and don'ts of talking to people that are like, don't talk to the man in the bathroom. Do say hello to the low to the dude sitting across from you in a small diner.
Yeah.
Be polite.
past someone, even passing someone on the street. If you make eye contact, I just do the
Yeah. There's
little-
no being
little head
sport.
nod.
There's no being a sportsman in a gas station
No.
toilet. You don't smack a man on the ass.
I just feel like it's
No.
you just got it. Just those people that feel like they have to say something.
Speaking of a gas station bathroom, we happened to stop there one time, so him and Lockwood could go to the bathroom. Lockwood's like, "Well, they sure got a condom selection in there."
What a conversation starter.
He said, "No." First thing he went before me. Then he came out and he said, "Do you have any quarters?" And I was like, "What?" And I walked in there and seen what he was. He was like, "You'll see." And I went in there to see what he was talking about. And obviously,
He doesn't know that exists.
I know that there was
He was unaware.
in there, and he was just like,
Don't homeschool your kids, people.
"Just thought you wanted some quarters." I said, "You could get cologne too," and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, there was a cologne one in there."
It's funny. I mean, they
Don't
do.
be silly, wrap your willy. And smell nice.
The
while you're
first
at it.
condom
Yeah,
I
why
ever
not?
bought was a gas station condom.
Samesies.
When you're in the heat of the moment, you gotta go
It's
quick.
most people's first condom.
When I'm embarrassed. when I'm a young embarrassed man and I'm
It was like one of the weird situations. Like one day, my mom just came home with like brown bags filled with condoms for me and my brother.
from
She
Planned
got a
Parenthood.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I was
where
just
you get
like,
'em.
what?
She's like, don't give me
And
grandchildren.
then
yet.
Nick just like looked at it. He's like, what?
See, I have no issue if I need a pack. I'll just walk into Walmart and grab and go.
Now
"Hey,
it's
Hunter."
obvious.
My favorite
I don't
thing
get
is when
that.
you go in, you buy that and you buy a bunch of other miscellaneous things that could be misconstrued.
banana.
So you buy
A bike pump.
Yeah, you get a bike pump.
Like, because there was one time I went in there, I bought a single banana, I bought a pack of condoms, I bought a notebook, I bought a pencil, and I bought some lube.
You're like, here we
And I was
go.
like walking through, and then, like as soon as I went through the cash register,
It's a documentary.
the lady was like scanning everything. She's like,
Trying something out.
she's like, interesting night, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And my friend Jacob at the time, he was sitting there. He's like, it's weird.
It's weird.
And then she's like, what are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing?
And I'm like, he's taking some notes. Because the only thing I needed to go, like when I went there, I was like, well, I only need a notepad and a pen.
Oh, that's what you went there for.
But I went there for that, but I was like, well, I'm here, I could use some condoms, some lube. And I was like,
Here's the thing.
I'll eat a banana.
I'll eat a banana.
You gotta show them how to put it on without any hands.
That's right.
And show him where it goes.
Whoa.
That's what the lube was for.
Yeah, don't do it backwards.
But no, like,
For a
it was
bad
just,
time.
it was a funny experience. Plus, like, there was the cashier I went through was a whole girl I went to school with.
Hmm.
So she was just like, really, like, what? What's happening?
It's like I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the things I'm discovering. Right now.
I thought I knew this guy.
You thought you knew me in high school. You do not fucking know me.
So long
This is
story
true.
short, Wayne doesn't want to suffocate.
Yeah, that really got off topic, but yeah.
We got off talking both of them.
No suffocation.
I mean, we're gonna.
I'm sure we're going to this one as well.
Don't
yeah.
breathe.
I thought that the first time you said suffocating, I was like,
But yeah,
suffocation.
I'd say one of my
No
biggest
breathing.
fears is suffocating. Found out what Lockwood's was.
What's that?
It's on our Instagram.
It
If
is
you want
on
to
our
find out,
Instagram.
you can take a look at it.
Is it related to suffocating?
Yeah,
Kind of.
Also poisoning.
in a way.
Yeah. All right, Mark. What's yours?
Mine's the little girl one. Needles.
Oh, you're scared away.
I like how he said, mine's the little girl one. Like
Yeah.
you're scared of little girls.
Yeah, I'm scared of little girls. It's terrifying.
They're little demons.
Can never go to my house.
No,
My
it's
daughter
needles.
terrifies him.
Last time I had to get a shot was for high school. I cried.
Wow. Oh, dude, it's like his tattoo. He was super.
Let me
sweaty.
tell you the worst.
And
Here's
it's
the
a
thing
totally
about the
different
tattoo.
kind of needle.
Here's the thing though with
Yes.
the tattoo. I could power through the tattoo. That one didn't bother me as much. Obviously, I wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
But that was one that I could just mentally be like.
You
sure.
also got it in your tattoo in a
Yeah.
bad place.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I think that was mostly my problem.
Yeah.
My problem was mostly because whenever he got to the top of it on the back of my calf, it's nowhere near my knee, but it felt like it was
underneath.
digging straight into my patella.
You know those people. There's people that are fine with needles. They're like, I don't care. I don't have a fear of needles, but I definitely.
That's how my brother is. My
fucking
brother's
do
just
not
like,
like
if he's gotta get a
needles.
shot, he'll just watch it. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I'm
like,
like, do it.
Speaking of that,
The very
Nick,
last shot I got was in my mouth.
For
Four
a
of them.
dentist shit.
I had to get this
Mouth
this
shit's
molar.
the worst.
My wisdom
you
tooth.
touching my mouth.
My wisdom tooth broke and got infected, but I thought it was something on the bottom, and so they're like, "No, it's probably the top." And so they checked it out, and they go, "Yep, that boy's got to go." And they're like, "Do you want to schedule an appointment to do it later, or what's up? Do you want to just power through it?" And I was like, "No, I literally cannot sleep. I cried last night for 6 hours
You're like, please
trying
do
to
this.
sleep, and I couldn't. Rip it out." And he goes, "Well, we're probably gonna have to give you shots." And I was like, "That's fine. Don't tell me. Just do it." It's like, because I'm going to be honest with you. I have an issue with needles when they're coming at me with the intent of being used. Whether they're putting something in or taking something out, I'm going to fight you for it.
I'm gonna fight you.
So just whatever you got to do, just do it. Don't tell me you're going to do it, and just do it. And so that's what they did. They just like, all right, stab. And I got, they had to defer me to a different dentist because they didn't pull there. So they sent me to a different guy, and he goes, "So where did they numb you?" And I was like, he just gave me a couple shots on the outside right here at the top of my gum. And he goes, "You're going to need them on the inside too." I was like, "You're going to need me more shots, aren't you?" And he goes, "Well, that depends. Are you scared of needles?" I was like, "I am." And he goes, "Then no. Stab!"
He's like, of course not. Here's a needle.
And
It's
then
like
they pulled it out.
one time we went with my mom to her doctor's appointment because like we were kids at the time, and Nick is afraid of needles, like blood drawing needles and stuff like that.
Mm.
She had to get some blood drawn, and like so she like they stuck it in, no problem. My mom's used to it. Nick almost fainted because they stuck the needle in her arm, and then he saw the blood coming out. He's like, and I'm like,
Ooh.
ooh.
And when you found something out about him or something, you were like, wow.
Dude, that's when I was like, I realized that like he's really fucking
He's
scared
actually
of
afraid of
needles.
Another weird part about it is like I can look at a needle. It doesn't bother me. Somebody
Just
else
when
getting a
it's
shot doesn't bother me.
going at you.
Like I think the aspect of it when it goes
If it's
into
for
someone's skin is what makes Nick uncomfortable.
If it's for me, I'm okay. When it's coming at me because it's mine, I'm not okay. I'm no longer okay.
The worst one that I got was when I went for MEPS, and I was
They stick it in your ass.
yeah, no, but that's later in the story.
I'm sorry, I forgot we were talking about needles.
To give you a good slap and a
I
stab.
was when you're at MEPS, the one that we went to in St. Louis. They do it in it's like a renovated bathroom, really. Like there's tile floors. You're in a bathroom stall.
A trucker definitely either died or got off there.
There's no toilet, and they had to. It's a big ass needle, and they have to take your blood for whatever military reasons, and they poke it in you, and they make you squeeze. They make you pump your fist, and then if that doesn't work, you have to move your arm. And pumping your fist while there's a big needle in your arm hurts so fucking bad. And then I wouldn't give blood, so I had to take it out and do it in a different arm, and then I had to pump my fist. And then the guy gave me one of those tension thingies,
Squeeze and grippers.
and he was like, "Do this now," and that hurts way more. And I was just like, and already, if you've been to MEPS, you know that it's not the most pleasant experience in the world. Like you have to do so many things that are uncomfortable and put you out of your comfort zone. And that was the worst time I ever had. When I was just like, I'd be happy if this was over right now.
Yeah, the worst shot I got was my tetanus shot. And they say tetanus hurts because it bruises and it just is a painful shot. The shot itself didn't bother me. It didn't hurt my arm. I didn't have any side
Mine did
effects.
because
or
the
nothing
lady
from
almost
it.
broke the needle off of my arm.
Little lady.
So I didn't have any of that with my tetanus shot. The reason it was bad is because I thought she was done, and she
You
wasn't.
looked at it.
So I looked, and the second I
You were
looked,
like,
my whole body tensed violently.
You squeeze a needle in your arm.
I bent the needle in my shoulder,
Yeah.
and she had to pull it out and then turn it and keep
and make
pulling it
sure.
out. Oh my god, it was one of the most painful things.
It's because I also had to go get my tetanus shot. When they did it, they the lady's like, "All right, 3, 2," and then she just fucking shanked it into me.
Just keep
Rather
it
than
close.
rather than just pushing it in, she's stabbed me with it.
What a lady.
Yeah,
so
dude. She stabbed so hard that I felt her whole arm go like this, and I was like, "Don't break," because it's that breaks. I don't have it. I can't get that out.
yeah, when I got my shots, she knew I was afraid of needles. This is the same lady who'd been giving me shots for years. So she just pinched me really hard, and she said, "I'm not going to tell you when the needle shows up." And she left the door open, and she just said, "A nurse is going to bring it sooner or later. And it's going to happen, and I'm not going to tell you when. So you're going to look at that wall, and I'll let you know when you can look away from the wall."
What a
And
lady.
so I sat there for a minute just staring
Turns
at
out
this
the
wall.
entire time she was doing it.
Yeah, just staring at this wall, getting pinched the whole time. She got the first one done, never even noticed. Got the second one done, and I was like, "It's got to be over by now."
That's a good tactic.
Oh, no!
Good tactic, but you fucked it up.
You're like, whoa!
I had my tetanus
And
shot
that was
done.
when I don't know if
when-
I cried because of the pain or because I got a shot, but I cried that day.
It's back with my grandpa used to give us $5 if we didn't cry during shots and
Yeah.
stuff when we were kids. He's like, "We'll give you $5. If you're a man, you earn $5."
Yeah.
So don't cry. Prove you're an adult.
And you're like,
So
cried
then
once for
we would
dental
get
stuff.
shots and we're like, "I didn't cry." And he's like, "Did it hurt?" And we're like, "Yeah, but I didn't cry." And he's like, "Here's $5."
go.
Even if we did cry, I'm pretty sure he was like, "Here's $5."
Yeah.
Because you did it. You went through it.
For the dental stuff, I just got that last year. I didn't cry through it. Proud of myself. But I just wound up and gripped onto the
You're
seat
like, all right.
aggressively. I just held that.
I got
Walmart's
my
saving his day.
tetanus shot when I got burned, as I had to get
Oh
my
yeah, because
tetanus
you have to
shot.
get another one.
Yeah. So, and I didn't have a problem with the tetanus shot or the other shot. They gave me some other random shot that they gave me. I had a real big issue when they were putting the IV in.
Because they collapse your vein and
Well,
shit.
they exploded a vein, collapsed a vein. They had to put it in my hand, and I was almost throwing up through the whole thing because I was panicking. And she was like, "You just got damn near 3rd-degree burns over half of your body, and you were laughing and making jokes with us the whole time, and now you're freaking out when I'm trying to put a fucking needle in your vein."
You're
I was
fucking
like,
doing it
I was
wrong.
like, well, first of all, you exploded my vein, collapsed one vein, and I'm not a fan of big ass needles and little rubber tubes being left in
I
my
can
body.
only imagine how weird those feel.
It's like
They don't
it's-
feel weird.
There's
You
those
can't
times
feel
when they
them.
go to do it, and like the one nurse does it so wrong so many times. It's like, do you want me to do it?
Knowing that you can't feel them makes me feel. a lot
When
more
Rachel was
better.
getting her stuff for
It's because they're so sharp.
her
'Cause-
pregnant,
Well, no, I'm talking about like
the silicones,
intravenous.
it's just so they're so thin.
Yeah, I'm
it's
talking
real,
about the ones
yeah.
that they stick in the.
You
they
feel it
stick
when
in
it
the-
comes out.
I bet.
When they pull it, they like it doesn't hurt bad, but it feels like it's coming out of your
Yeah.
body, and you're like, ugh.
But knowing that it
Gross
doesn't
feeling.
like that you don't notice it
Mhm.
is a huge. boon,
I had to
because I
keep
always
my
have
hands
this
still
feeling.
because I have a fear that I'll like rip it or something and
Well, I don't have
hurt.
a thought about that because people have done a lot of things aggressive with those.
Yeah.
That haven't popped out. My whole thing is like I would just imagine like if it's in my hand, feeling it the whole time. Every time my heart pumps some blood, I just feel it, and I just the thought of that. Ugh.
My sister ripped hers out when we were in the hospital once.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
But that fucking bled like a
Mhm.
horse. Just
it was bad. I have a fear of doing it. I just don't want it to hurt more because they have little barbs
It's like the one time
that,
Keep them in.
that you have to push in. Like that's why they push and then they pull.
Yep.
When
It's like
they take it out.
There was one time when I was cutting duct tape off an Ethernet cord
Yeah.
with a knife, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, knife goes into my finger.
I've had that happen a bunch. I got a ton of scars.
I
on
still
my
have the
hand.
scar from where it
Mhm.
went because it like straight up almost took the tip of my finger off.
Yeah.
Like it was like first knuckle, like right into my first knuckle. And then as I did it, I was sitting there, like it sprayed blood all over my friend at the time, Tyler Farley,
Mhm.
and his little brother Nick was like sitting there, with blood sprayed on both of them. I was just like, and then they're sitting there covered in blood, like, oh my god! And Tyler's little brother's like fucking 5 or 6, and now he's covered in blood.
Yeah,
Poor
I
little
got
guy.
tons of scars on my hands from knives.
Yeah, random.
That I should have gotten stitches for, because like there's a couple. I think I've got 2 or 3 that are to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
But since I'm scared of needles, my mom or dad would just be like, "Oh, we got to go to the doctor get stitches."
I
I,
know,
was like,
uh,
"Nope, leave it alone."
For my finger, we
I've had
pushed it.
stitches once.
Like I had Tyler push it
I think
closed,
that's
and then
probably
I
what my
poured some
fear.
super glue on it, opened it, pushed it closed again.
Mhm. Super good works.
Fucking
fine.
worst pain I've
Oh,
ever
it
felt.
burns so
Yeah, it
bad.
burned. It works so
Oh,
good though.
It does. It holds you,
Works so
hold you shut.
good.
I think I'm thinking stitches is probably where I got my fear of needles.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know if I had an issue until I was like 3.
And then you see the stitches go in.
When I was 3, well, no, they were in my face. When I was 3 years old, I fell off a rock in the back of our property and landed face first on a sidewalk. It was about a 3-foot fall,
That'll do it.
and I punched a hole straight through my lip. There's a reason I have a big ass scar here. Is because I punched a hole straight through my lip with my teeth. Like you'd stick a finger
Mhm.
through it,
Hmm.
a hole.
Did I ever tell you the?
And so they just had to like stab the shit out of my face to sew it up.
It's
Did
probably
I ever
like
tell you
flavor.
the Johnny Hatchet story?
Hmm.
Where I Wayne knows it. We were walking to McNaughton. You know how you can walk like deep in, like you follow the creek way in,
Mhm.
and there's no more trail really. And you have to like there's an area where it goes down like probably like 7 feet, and then it goes over the creek. And there's like a little sandbar, and then there's more creek. And we were on this side, wanting to get up on that side.
Is it after the fork?
Yeah, it's way after the fork.
Is it on the
way,
left or right side?
It's you're not in McNaughton Park anymore. You're on people's property.
Oh,
Yeah, well, technically.
so under the overpass on Sheridan, under the
No,
highway?
not that way. The other.
Okay,
part,
so the
the
left side.
other fork. Yeah, you go left. You don't go down that way. And so I have my backpack with a hatchet in it, and I don't want to jump with my backpack because obviously, if you ever jump with a backpack, it feels weird. It throws
It's
you all
awful.
all off balance, and you might fall. So Johnny jumped to the middle, and he was like, "All right, toss me the backpack." And I threw in the backpack, and he caught it, but the hatchet kept traveling, and just punk right in his lip. And he was like, "Oh!" And I was like, "You all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm fine." And I was like, oh, "Okay." I jumped over and I looked, and there's a piece of fat hanging out of his lip, and I was like, "Johnny, you got hit in the lip." And he was like, "Yeah, I know. I think something just kept going and hit me in the face." And I was like, "You're cut." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "You're cut." And he like smiled to try to like feel it or something. And I was like, "You're bleeding in your mouth." And he was like, "I'm bleeding in my mouth." And I was like, "Yeah." And he lifted up his gun. There's a hole in his lip. And I was like, "I think my hatchet went straight through your lip." And he was like, "Your hatchet went through my lip." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just kept moving and it just went straight through your lip." And he like pushed his finger on the inside and it split open and I seen his finger. And I was like, "Yeah, it definitely went through your lip." And I was like, he was like, "Is it bleeding?" And I was like, "A little bit." And he was like, "Should we leave?" And I was like, "I mean, it's not really bleeding that bad." And he was like, "What do you have in there?" And I had salted peanuts. And he was like, "Let me," and he took the small amount of salt at the bottom of the peanuts and was just like, and rubbed it up in there. He's like, "Ah, that burns." and it stopped bleeding. He was like, I think we're good. I think we can continue walking. And I was like, okay.
Whatever you say, man.
Yeah, we did. He has a big scar. Not big scar. It's like a little line.
Little line.
That's all it
It's
is.
crazy stuff.
It was a good story.
In the woods.
It was fun. There was another time we were building bows. We were trying to build. Me and Johnny went to Rocky Glen and we're trying to build like bows and arrows. And he was trying to whittle his bow with my buck knife, my like very first fixed blade buck knife I got. It was like maybe 5 minutes in. I was down a hill and he was up a hill. And I was hearing him say, Mikey? And I was like, yeah. He was like, we gotta leave. And I was like, why? And he just like looked at me and there's just blood all down his hand, dripping from his hand. He was like, I cut myself. And I was like, really bad? And he was like, yeah, it's really bad. And we went and he had to go to the hospital. I don't think he had to go to the hospital actually. I think we went. He cleaned it off. It was a really deep cut, but he was like, I don't think I need stitches. Probably should have gotten stitches.
Yeah, that's what almost all my scars.
But he was like, I can just wash it off. He washed it off and like throw a Band-Aid on it. It was fine.
Usually you can fix most things with super glue. Anyway,
You never need a stitch.
you want to go ahead and tell us your biggest fear?
Yeah.
If you're, cool enough to say it.
Yeah, not a.
It doesn't got to be your biggest one, just a big one.
Not a poopsie.
If you would tell us what yours is, what you think it would be.
And go to our Instagram and find out what Lockwood's biggest fear is.
Lockwood's biggest fear.
Lockwood's-
The secret details.
Lockwood's very specific fear.
Very specific.
Very odd. I've never heard this fear before. But
Anyways.
if you think about it.
It's time's up.